Woo! All right, we made it back. One more again, by the help of you. And the Khan of Yahuwah, his favor, he saw fit to barack us and let us see another yom, then let us stay asleep while the Layla was going on. Somebody didn't get up this morning, but, you know, again, by the Khan, by the favor of Yahuwah, we not counting among them. We count among the living one more time. That's more of our motivation. Make sure we get this thing right. Watch a little bit of Ukrainian war again, watching these people still complain about what's going on. It ain't even been 60 days. They can only imagine that they had 400 years of this stuff. Bombing and killing and kids kidnapped. I mean, that's all in 60 days. Now, how you gonna come up with our accurate number? They claiming in less than a month, they had 120,000 of their kids were kidnapped and took to Russia. Russia probably about a good 2-hour job. And they took 100. How many of our people you think they took? Over 400 years. How many you lost? That's how many citizens, civilian, non-military were killed. What were the people they put on them ships? That's right. What were them kids they took and they sold off the other slave plantations, changed their name, and hid records? Don't tell me about no Ukrainian. That's right. That's a waste of my time. Until you ready to address the real problem, issue at hand that's been going on way longer than what's going on in Ukraine. I don't want to hear about no Ukrainian. You know, it's unfortunate. I like to tell them it's unfortunate. I have no tears to give. I have no deep, sobbing compassion simply because I'm looking at my own people, the situation that's going on with us. As Shaul said, he said he was a curse from Yahuwah for his arm's sake, for the arm's sake. He said who was his? He was talking about his kinsman according to the flesh. So they read the book. He wasn't talking about he was a curse from Elohim for no other Guim. He was talking to people that were his according to the flesh. So that's how we got to look. I don't know why people don't care about their own before you start putting all that deep compassion on everybody else. If white people really cared about us, they'll care about themselves first. It ain't hard for white people to dismantle the group. They know who they are. They sit at the dinner table with their family. They don't sit around and brag about the niggas they done killed, they done shot, they done hung, and how many granddad and grandmama got, and keep records and keep old pictures and slave letters. I had a friend years ago, he brought a letter showing me his great-granddad from the Civil War, his great-great-granddad. And reading the letter, his granddad was telling somebody how to, telling his wife to use this field Negro they had named Henry. Had a letter, he said, he had an authentic letter telling you this nigga Henry, and pay somebody $200 for to borrow another nigga from them. I like, man, back in the 1700s, y'all had $200 to give away? That's a lot of money. Niggas ain't got $200 now. Go take $200 and see somebody bust your head over. So you figure the 1700s, you got $200 just to throw to somebody, just borrowing niggas to do something? You got plenty of money around now. So you start fighting against white people trying to compete with white people. It's impossible. They done stole money before you even knew what money was. Well, you can't hear what you knew about $1. Any currency they had, you ain't know nothing about no paper money. We knew about the value of silver and gold, no doubt, but before they come to these people, these numbers they put on them, they fooled us all the time. Soon as black people start learning how to become millionaires, then we start hearing about billionaires. We grew up, they had rich and rich. Remember the cartoon, that little white boy had millions of dollars. Soon as blacks start becoming millionaires, all of a sudden, look at all these billionaire white folk. They create numbers to keep you out of the rim. Now, if you holler you're a millionaire, they say, man, you poor. Tell you go to my man, I got $1 million. Man, you ain't got no money. Nigga don't even make $24,000 to tell you broke. Right. You ain't far from that. That's how they did. They always set achievement far out of our range. As soon as we accomplish anything, they're always gonna check that white. Now, there was Elon Musk, first trillionaire. Then there's other white boy from Amazon, trillionaires. How they do this for anything to get them away from us. See, I'm just saying, that's how they do it. They create. You think I honestly believe these white boys got all their money? Right. That's what I'm saying. Even on computer don't make it's just what they tell us that make us look at how far success will ever be from us. That's why we can't measure success by dollar amount. Y'all got it? We got to start looking at completion. You know what I'm saying? What it is we attempt to do and how far we get it done. You know what I'm saying? Mission accomplished. That's how we gonna measure success. If we're gonna use the white man rule, we'll never be in the well. I'm telling you, you'll never make it. So it's going to be important for us to sit down and reconsider. I'm still calling on all of the so-called Negro and every other race that got a mind to say they want to live right and got a mind they want to stand for justice and equality. All we need to do is come together. We need to sit down and just break the whole planet down into parts. What part you want, where we going to go, and who going to designate what, and everybody leave each other F alone. That's right. If you don't like folk, leave them alone. That's right. Ain't no reason me to go bother no clan, as long as no clan don't come bothering me. That's right. Skinhead, give everybody their own little spot. That's the only way to make it sense. Put people where they want to be at and leave people alone. Yep. Ain't that right? Put equality for everybody. They talking about how many people abandoned leaving Mexico. If you want to effed up Mexico, the people could have stayed. That's right. And really, when they cross the Texas border, they still in Mexico. I don't know what the folks talking about. There's a store, Arizona, Oklahoma, parts of Oklahoma, New Mexico, all that is Mexico. Only reason you call it new because you done got rid of the old. Ain't that right? You can't have a new unless it's an old. That's right. Ain't that right? Let's sit here and took it away from them. Just stop telling lies. So we got to come back and redesignate and redesign. I was looking at a little something on the news. They was showing Africa, they got a drought. I want to go there once the water level get right. And they talking about they kind of conserve water. I'm going to hold off a little bit. They get that water. I know there's some white people that messing with that water over there. There's too many rivers run through Africa for it to have a drought. They might not get it from Shalumah, but they should get it from the ground. Irrigation, the whole nine. But see, y'all don't realize when the whites came in, they did a lot of disorganizing, resettling, redistricting in Africa. That's why all those tribes fighting. They have no reason just to fight each other. They don't. No. Even with predators, before they'll fight, they'll try to give them the option to leave. That's just it. Before we fight, let's just move. This is my territory. And if somebody give in, somebody go ahead and move, they'll give each other a cry. They don't just immediately just start attacking the fight unless you just caught right up. And it's vicious because it's something that I'm harboring against you or you harboring against me. Typically, predators let others pass by and they keep moving. See, white people put us in a situation where all of us right up on each other. Then they sold us the lies about each other. So we don't even get a chance to discuss what the problem is. We just immediately start fighting and killing each other. I mean, let's sit down and discuss why we hate each other. Now, I guarantee you we talk, we'll find out both of us been sold some vicious lies. Yep. Hispanic people against Hispanic people. Listen, the divide ain't just a different color. The divide come in the same race. We can talk about how many whites killing whites, blacks killing blacks. Yep. White, you know how many whites killing black? How many blacks killing black? Because of this and misinformation. That's how they make us fight each other. Catch somebody with a shirt on, somebody might not know, that nigga disrespected my color. I don't know nothing about this your color. I bought it because these my clothes, and this is what color I like. You naturally assume everybody know this my color, and they wear this color. Nigga, nobody know what you talking about. I don't know where you gonna own a color. Right. Nigga, your name ain't Creola. Yeah, right. Isn't that right? Then I had thought up another software joke for you. I don't know what happened to it. Maybe it'll come back to me. I'm gonna say. I got it. What you tell him. So I'm trying to help him out for the computer world. What bit down there? He know he'll know if it's good computer. I would ask Hayward, but all he knows is habitual. I can't use Hayward. Okay. What you tell him, Danny, is you know why your mom sit at home and nobody take her out nowhere? Because she ain't got no data. That ain't data. Y'all like that? Data. Like, Dan, I can't do so much. Listen. All I'm doing, Danny, get the application filled out. I'm getting you through the interview from now. Now you're going to have to roll. But I'm trying to tell you this good stuff. Now the thing about processing. Oh, that you process. That's what you tell him. Tell him to process it. Oh, he going to be like, then he going to get up from the desk and be like, this is now your office. See, I'm trying to help him out. This stuff, I'm telling you, make sure you write it down. Y'all take this. How many of y'all like that? Man, cool people, don't worry about it. No, we full now. We full. Now we full. Listen. Now we just filled up. We packed out. Man, if y'all would have raised your hand a little earlier, we'd have room. Yeah, Karen, now what you want, Karen? The way it says, hold on, instead of saying she ain't got no data. No data. Won't nobody data. See, you gotta make it known. See, let me say, see, that's why you not in the cybersecurity like us. We seen people like him. We don't have folks come in trying to reconstruct the whole thing. See, you gotta keep it where it stay real, you know what I'm saying, real computer-realical. See, he don't know about that word computer-realical. See, you done got in the way, you don't mess up. You just want to see if you ain't in it, you won't understand that kind of conversation. See, you want to stay dated. What happened? What's the sound crew got? It is for computer helping Danny in his future, it is for somebody else. All right, this for Danny. All right, go ahead. Why did she stay home? All right, why did she stay home? We got a motherboard joke already. We got to come up with another one. All of them take about it. See, we already hired. We got a sign not hiring for motherboard joke. See, the data gonna get you in there. All the other stuff gonna get you in there. See, the other stuff they already hired for that. See, they ready for that data. You know what I'm saying? And I told them, you got to tell man, see, just process it. You see what I'm saying? If you had Malcolm, what? This is good stuff to take on the road now. So yes, sir. Here you go, one more. And if for Dana help the kids, and if for the kids, here you go, one more. Let's see. They'll like this. Let's see what you got, Breezy.
Why did the computer call the exterminator?
Because they had a bug.
He had a mouse.
That's so terrible. You should have said, why did the computer get a cat? Because it had a mouse. But we'll try to see if you like that one. That's like, oh, here we go. Here goes Chanel. Just, how long before you start adjusting? Do you permit her to tell this one? Is it going to be a funny? You know it's going to be what?
I don't think it's going to be funny, but I will allow it.
Oh, you allow? Go ahead.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Why was the mama on home arrest? I mean, wait, hold on. Why was the mama on house arrest?
I don't know. Since Boston said, what was it, Boston? Go ahead. Yeah.
Because they had to monitor like that.
Why was she on house arrest? Because they had to monitor. Oh, you gonna keep explaining? You think we don't? She don't know we don't stay there talking about computer monitor. Yeah. Oh no, we got it. We got it. What you think, Justin? He said hell out. Oh my goodness. Here we go. All right, Alicia. Alicia, they're gonna be funny.
Why did the computer go to the hospital?
Why did the computer go to the house? Because they had a virus. Probably should have said why I got a COVID shot. That's terrible. Stay with Zamar. Stay with Zamar. Well, it's just terrible. That's what happens. When I come out with all my good stuff, then all the bad stuff come out too. No, that's all right. We'll help out the other kids. Rest of y'all get a career y'all want us to do. And we'll try to help y'all out too. All right? What y'all got? Move what you got. Move, we got to think of something. She's going to be a lawyer. I know what else. All right. Why did the attorney have all his folders just laying out? Because he ain't have no case. That's off the dome. That's off the dome, baby. See, yeah, that was he says that. I mean, come on, ain't had no case, got your file laid out. That stuff out the dome. That's Justin thing. I see Justin. He up to something. Oh, here you go. All right, Justin, what we got? And this for those that think we tell you we actually not, we trying to help the kids. What you got? This for the kids now. Why did the pirate want to go?
Because he needed a hard drive.
Why did the pirate get on the computer? He did a hard drive. That is terrible. Dan, if you use that joke, Dan, you're going to get fired. They're going to hire you immediately so they can fire you immediately. That is scary. That is scary. It's terrible, ain't it? It's terrible. Well, we appreciate it, though. Oh, my goodness. Well, we appreciate that. We're going to try to get ready and move forward and see what does say Mr. Yahuwah. Make sure we get this intelligent. Do y'all think about yourself? What we got, sweetie? A sweet little jailbird. Say what?
Why did the spider check his computer?
Hold on. Why did the spider check his computer? Tell us why.
To check his website.
To check his website. Okay. Oh! Danny, please go in there and make sure you let them know you had some help in your interview. Don't go and let them people think you just that smart. That's a lot of good stuff you're going to have. Do y'all think about your salvation, though? I mean, daily. It should be something daily that we all should think about and examine. I mean, just, what would seem simple, just waking up every day and, and having the activity of your limbs. People do it every day, but every day when people get up, somebody lose something. I'm always grateful for the fact that, I still have a mind to allow, to seek him, to think on him, to consider, daily. That's something that we have to consider, we have to do. Like he told me, if any man would, come after me, he's going to have to take up his tooth daily. He's going to have to follow him. So he's going to consider the suffering, he's going to consider the benefits as well. Because if I'm going to take up a cross, the tooth, I'm going to have to take up immediately being accursed. Y'all got it? So I'm looking at for what sake. I'm trying to mimic somebody who became a curse for you and I. So I know I'm going to be a curse among my own people. Among your own people, people are going to hate you. Even Yahushua taught about a man foes will be them of his own best. When you really think about and consider salvation, you have to really look at, and I tell you, I've said it oftentimes, but not, recently, really considering everything you got and really considering you have the opportunity to actually be disconnected from all the people. What predicated relationship, once you take on salvation, can disannul one. The relationship you might have had, a mother and her daughter could be like best friends. But when you take on the word, that mother tell you she don't want to see you again. Simply because they'll tell you, they'll disown you for this. And this is the same protocol we found over many of years and through different of our readings of other people that attach themselves to the dabarim, the words. And those are things that you really have to consider. And I think a lot of times people don't consider that. So people only go so far where you still keep a certain amount of connection. But, in reality, we have to get to a point to where we will become enemies to people because of what we believe, which means certain things that we keep that allow us to still be attached to people, certain quote-unquote loved ones, eventually they'll have to break. Because when you really lock down to what it is you stand for and what you believe, you ain't got to worry about people breaking up with you. I mean, you breaking up with people or breaking off from people, they'll break off from you. You ain't got to worry about hating people. People will hate you. And it'll be just like he said in the Torah. It's written in the Torah that they'll hate you without a cause. You would think, I told you before, a mother or father love a homosexual son, but if a son decides he gonna live right and keep himself until marriage, they'll tell him to get out. They don't want to see him again. Isn't that right? They'll stay with a crackhead, a drunk, a daughter that's a stripper. A daughter say, I don't want to wear that stuff anymore. I want to live right. I want to do the right thing. I want to stop hanging out in the streets and stop doing what I'm doing. They'll tell her, get away from her. You ain't my child no more. You'd be surprised. People will have your back to do wrong. And that's only because a lot of times people look at, they get solace in your failure. I tell y'all about that a lot of time where people you'll get your friend. A lot of people are comfortable with you where you're at because you know what? It makes them feel better about themselves. Versus motivating you and seeing you in a different light. Because now you challenge them to even come up or you make them hold a standard. Y'all got it? I'll tell you, why people peer group? The people they'll keep and the people they'll counsel, because they won't challenge them a lot of times. People stay where they're comfortable at. Y'all know that? That's like people, you put them in remedial courses. They'll stay with remedial because they know when they come out, it really gets hard for them. So they'll get where they can maintain and kind of stay on the radar and they can keep operating. You got to kind of break that mindset. You got to break that mold. You always got to look at what you could do to make changes. You know what I'm saying? They talk about leaps and bounds. That's something you always got to consider. But a lot of times we become comfortable with our situation and you get no growth. You always got to grow. Even the book described that you got to, even, prescribed us that you got to grow in con and in the knowledge. Who we going to mimic? Good answer. Good answer. Tell them again. Say it louder. I don't know why he told y'all that. Yes, Yahushua. The book told us that he grew in favor with Elohim and with Anashim. That's what we look at. He grew in favor. As he got older, he became more prominent. He became more knowledgeable. The more he grew, the more knowledgeable he became, the more active he became. You don't find him doing all the things he did when he was a child. But as he grew, y'all got it? And that's the same thing you got to do. A lot of us, and even the book prescribed us that you henceforth be no more, what was that? Children. And you know what children do? Toss to and fro. Isn't that right? How? That's right. You know they're going to use the wind, and the wind referred to with the spirit. A lot of times people's behavior come, they change. Isn't that right? Things might come and kind of challenge you or trigger you, but you still need to have a balance. That's something you still need to have a balance. You still need to have a grounding of how far I can go with anything. Some people say, I'm sorry, I just lost control. That's a bad state. Isn't that right? Well, don't let things get you to where you lose control and then you get to being outside of yourself. You know what I'm saying? You got to learn how to ground yourself. Y'all know that, like electricity, they ground it before they let you use it. They don't just go grab no lightning bolt out the air and use it. It's uncontrollable. They'll get it where it can be restricted. That's the same thing you got to do, and that's what the Ruach HaKodesh come in to restrict us. The things that we couldn't do for ourselves, our governing comes in now from the word. Did the Spirit literally come and take my hand if I want to take it right now and hit him? No. But a decision comes to mind. Contemplate all of the repercussions of the action you're going to do. Where's it going to put you at from a Ruach perspective or in your connection with Yahuwah? Most people don't think to after. You'll see people that mass murder or see people, not all the time, you'll see people that do stuff. Later they're sorry, they want to tell you, I look at the family, if I had it to do over again. Well, at that point, you don't have that option. So to have the conversation don't make sense. Of course you're going to say it because what state you in right now. See, where you really come in and look at it, how you consider things before you do them. That's all the Daud do. Come in and let us do. Even Shaul, they called Paul, he told Timothy to do, what was it again? Consider what I say. And guess what happened? Because once you start to think over it, start to consider it, and then I tell you something, use it when you start to kind of get your balance from when you start to use it against what you know as far as the word. That's what I do. If I look at somebody and decide, this is questionable, it's only because I'm considering against what I know. You know, I never looked at how important those five senses were and how they could be used in everything we do, or the symbols he gave us of how to use them. But they play a major part of us connecting and getting an understanding to the realization of what is he trying to get us to do. A lot of things we heard before weren't practical because we really didn't have nothing to weigh it against or balance it against. How we saw who they told us, quote unquote, Jesus was by, giving him a name, a ground pig, and the status they gave us, we never really considered him as being a human being, a physical person that has all of the same traits that we have, prone to, subject to thoughts, ideas, changing his mind, not wanting to do something, but still being restricted to the will of Elohim. We want to get to that point, and you don't get to it by conversation, you get to it by understanding. We have to become, as we'll say, white people. White people tend when they see something, they get it, they try to basically just dissect it all the way down to get, even if they kill it. They'll tear it apart to just find out exactly what makes it tick, how does it work, what's the purpose of it, how do you control it, or what does it take to create another one. And that's what we got to do. We have to really go take the book and we have to dissect it so we can see what does it take in order for us to create another one, and that other one being us. Hello? Let's think about it. In the book of Bereshit 126, he said, let us make each an hour after. And he was talking about the singular one from the beginning, Adam. From there, he took the woman and made her similar, like, isn't that right? And gave a connection and attachment. Isn't that right? Giving her some of the same abilities, some of the same ideas, and had the same laws and premises. So wherever he was going to come into possession of having or becoming, she had that same opportunity, although she was of the feminine and he was of the masculine. So we can understand the same thing with us. We can actually become heirs, inheritors of the same thing he gave him if we follow the same Torah direction. So if it's not important for us to do it, the same laws, Torah, direction, instruction that he gave to Adam, we never heard him give them to Ka'ua, who they call Eve, did we? That's right. But who do we find reciting them for us? She recanted them. She called them back up. And what she found herself, she was an heir as long as she continued in. As Yahushua said, if you continue in my word, then are you my Talmudim, my taught ones. My taught ones. Y'all got it? And that showed that she had been taught because she recited what she was told, but she lost some attribute because she didn't continue in it. That's why he told her, if you continue in it. You just can't recite this thing. It's got to be in you. Y'all got it? So that's how it will go. We know a lot of things. We'll learn some Abari words. We learn some Greek words. We learn some phrases, connotations, and other things about how important sounds are and enunciation of words and other different things, how air restricts through certain things and air flows through others. We got to stop being consonants with the world. Y'all understand that? What do we say what the difference between the vow and the consonant?
Constant is something that's restricted.
Restrict. And guess what happened? We become restricted with these people. Y'all know that? The book declared in the book of Yeshayahu, when they asked Yahushua about how did he fall, that they told us what the devil. How did the devil fall? I don't know how they came up with the name of Lucifer, where it was now Kalial, which means the shining one. It was never talking about the devil. I don't know how people took it, but they gave it to it because they only assumed they put something together that didn't actually go together. Isn't that right? Want to know how did he fall? And when he fell, he did what?
Weaken the nation.
And he became as any other man. That's what we look at, just like with Shemshon. He became as any other man. Isn't that right? And that's what these people try to do. They're trying to restrict us and get us down to the same level as them. And we can't afford to. We got to be like a vial, unrestricted. Isn't that right? Where it's a constant flow. You'll still get some air in, but because of the constant, it's restricted. And that's what they've done in our conversation while we haven't actually got the relief we needed. See, certain things always trigger me, even when it comes down to us being brought out of Mitzrayim, they call Egypt. The fact that he said he heard their cry, which means what came out from them was something he recognized. Do y'all know how much damage has been done to all these groups? Not just us, all these groups. I don't believe any of these groups are full of what we need to be because it's just not time yet. I think it's a fight and it's a struggle for us to get there, and some people will quit. I will not quit. That's mine. Even Shaul told us to endeavor to keep the bond. So what is endeavor? That mean do it? That's an attempt. I got to attempt to do this. And see what'll happen with some people, they'll fall away and they'll stop because they'll feel like it's just too much. It's just too much. Life in itself is too much. To me, it's too much not to be grounded. It's just too much. It's just a matter of time before you lose it, before you snap or somebody else snap around your kid. You got to ground yourself. For me, this is my grounding. This is like he told me, this is my understanding in the sight of the other Goyim, the other nations. Isn't that right? He asked, what other nation is so wise or has Elohim so near to him? Isn't that right? It was because of the relationship. So what we're trying to do is to make sure we follow through on a relationship. Abraham had a relationship with Elohim. Isn't that right? They communicated. He allowed things to happen for Elohim, for Abraham, because Abraham stayed in a constant with him. He told and it even became a benefit to his benim. So we see how this actually works. How can we be inheritors of somebody else's works? Well, let me see. How many of you had parents or grandparents died? How many of you grandparents or parents have left you something that they worked for, that they purchased, that they bought? So what did you do? That you got it. So people don't understand how you get salvation from somebody else's work. How did you inherit something that you didn't pay for? How did somebody leave you something that they worked, they bled for, they died for, they scraped up, and they worked double and triple time and 7 days a week to get, and yet you became a benefactor of it? And truly you understand how we recipients of that which Yahuwah left. See, people are trying to make you seem like it's almost impossible, but it's not impossible. A lot of us have inherited things from them. Even with that, we've also inherited blood pressure. And what they'll tell you how you got blood pressure. Yeah, they'll tell you about it, and they'll start telling you to do what? Cut back on your salts. Start working out, start trying to eat more vegetables, looking at your fruits and other different things. So what are these? These are countermeasures that are given to come back to try to repair or try to, we'll say, redeem. Redeem means to make up for a bad aspect, remember? So what are we looking at? If I got blood pressure from my mother, who got it from her father and her mother, who no doubt received it from their parents, from their behavior, from how they ate and from things they've done, then now they're setting up a protocol that I can take that can come back and can repair the damage. So now I got to look at, I'm a recipient of the kataim, the sins of my Abba, the fathers. Then Yahushua had given us, or Yahuwah, the Abba, the Father, has given us a protocol or given us a regiment to come in and repair the damage. Y'all understand that? That's why we're here. This is the regiment that given us to repair the damage. Hello? Okay. I don't know. Y'all look kind of crazy like you don't get it. See, I don't want you to get thrown because people are always trying to challenge and trying to fight. And a lot of times it ain't just other people challenging. it's us challenging or trying to see how to get around. You know how easy it is not to believe? It's more easier to not believe than to believe. Although the evidence is there, it's more easy. People say, I just believe, man can control his own destiny. Man makes his own decisions, just like when Shara Justin was, when he was proclaiming concerning, about things being predestined. And a lot of predestination because he already know what man's going to do. I know what man's going to do before he do it, but I'm giving man an opportunity to turn from it. Because the book declares in the book of Ehud that they call Job for all of him speaking, they make sure it's him. Twice, because that's how we confirm it. He said, yet, which means man doesn't have perception because man possibly what? Why, what reason? I can't hear you. Ears are closed, eyes are closed. For me, I'll say it because man doesn't know him. See, what I just repeated, you guys already know that. Isn't that right? Because we were taught at the mouth or out of the mouth. So it makes sense that when I'm speaking, I'll say it more than one time. So it's a confirmation for you, but you got to be familiar with how Elohim speaks. See, for the average people not familiar with how he speaks. People looking for just the conversation. We start looking at things that happened, things that came on them. Like Abraham saw our dread before it happened. He didn't talk with Abraham concerning, he caused a deep sleep to fall on Abraham. And when Abraham slept, it was dark, it was weary, it was treacherous, and he saw all the destruction that was going to come on his arm. But he let him know, he came and gave him a confirmation, but know of a surety that in the fourth Tuladah, see, at one time, man got at least 100 years. So we counted Tuladah every 100 years. Y'all got it? When they sat in Bamart Bar, they sat there for 40 years. And he called that Tuladah on them. We usually had 100. Minimum, man lived in 100 slots, not in 50s and 30s and 40s. Then he came back and Tahalim and told her he was going to give us 60. By reason of strength, he'll give you 10 more. Give you 70. He cut time short with man. He told you what man's problem was. He said, because you continually, you like the noon, you just keep going. He said, I'm going to cut time short with man. He said, I'm going to have to cut time with him. I'm going to cut back. You ain't get the 700 years and 600 years and 900 years and all the 800 years like we got in time past. He said, because you just continue to keep doing the same thing like a seed. You keep regrowing to the same thing. So I got to cut time off short with you. That's how you get rid of it. See, this is something you want to consider. Using the term cutting off, we understood because we cut plants, we cut vegetables, we cut fruit away from trees. And we know when we cut it off, we cut it away from any attachment, any connection to. So that was his way of doing the same thing. He said, if you found, hypothetically, this man doing something that's prescribed in the Torah, that's contrary, first of all, where would I find this man at? Where would I find him at? We'll say it again. Among me. I'm not going to go way across town looking for this man. This man going to be among me. Which means you not, let me see, that means he's probably like, what, connected to me? So if he's doing something that's contrary, then he's going to tell me that I'm going to slay this man, or I'm going to stone this man, or I'm going to burn this man, that he what? Moot. That he dies, that I might cut him off. So the same thing you'll do sometime with a tree. See, people that's familiar with archery understand with a tree, people don't know trees get sick. Most of y'all wouldn't know that. Trees get sick too. It's certain things you can do. You can stick a tree can get infection. Most of y'all wouldn't. How many of y'all didn't know that? Yes, trees do get infections. Yeah, they can get infection. So what you'll do, you can go and you can cut that part off. And the purpose of you cutting it off so it doesn't take the whole tree out. It's better if I hypothetically burn, stone, kill this man or thrust him through that he moot and cut him off so I could save the tree. Not us. It's just better we all die together. Y'all see that? But Yahuwah knew I got to save me a seed. That's why he could never cut us totally off. When his anger got thrust, that his anger was so hot that he could kill us all, he realized, but if I do that, then I kill the whole tree. So I take something that's good from the tree and I'll plant it in I don't want to use hope, but people use that in pursuit of establishing a new Tuladah that'll keep an order. Y'all got it? So typically what he did he took from a tree In order to plant a tree that he'll establish that can continue. He saw some of the fruit on the tree not right. So I'm trying to take it and make the whole tree good. Because the tree can't be good and bad. So I take the tree down and I'll establish one that'll be totally good. Then I'll take from that tree a seed, that ox, which is the ox, the tree, the fruit, the pari, and I'll take the seed in promising, in pursuit of continuing, that it'll continue. You got it? That's our goal. So every time we establish it, we're going to establish it based upon the Tuledah. This tree has kids. This tree is tube. This tree is supposed to teach those kids all of the tube information that you have in pursuit of establishing to keep the tree right. So the fruit don't fade away. The pari. See, we have to understand it that way. If you don't, then what's going to happen? After he put in Barashit and he established and he put everything there, first thing he had to establish before we go any further, that everything's good. Sometimes we might at least say we had me and Daud, we had a problem, we give you good? I'm good. Make sure we're good before we move on to anything. No, let's just, no, let's make sure we're good. That's the first thing he did. He established everything. Everybody's good. Everybody's good. From here we can go. So if everybody's good, continue doing that. You keep doing that, and you keep doing that. You got it? If everybody's good and everybody's doing the thing that's been required, that he's already designated that's good, then there's no reason to get cut off. The fear we have is, I'm going to get cut off. I don't want to get, how many of y'all had that fear? I don't want to get cut off. I don't want to get lost. I don't want to burn in Sheol. Then what do we need to do? Pray. Hope. Cry. What did he designate is too? What did he designate as good? This is what I like. Continue to do this. Y'all got it? So that I won't cut you off. Because you're only you cutting off something because it attached to something. Go to the doctor amputated my toe. Where was my toe at? It was already in the bushes somewhere else while I was over here. It attached. What's typically the reason why they probably cut the toe off? Poor circulation. Now it went from poor, but you know what? It was a premise before it got started. The poor circulation was one of the signs. So what I should have been working on was getting circulation to it. What could I do? Sleeping elevated, wearing socks that'll massage the foot, start doing more massaging, start doing other things, getting shoes that work to try to push to make sure I get it. We try to start doing preventive maintenance when it's time to amputate. It ain't no time to fix it. At that point, I'm gonna try to go get some peroxide and soak it. They finna cut it off in 2 minutes. I'm trying to see if I can get some antibiotics right quick and stuff. At that point, it's too late. These things should have been done previous. Just like a person have a leg amputated, a toe amputated, there's no way to say it just happened. You already know about it. It already gave the signs. The things were there. Just like for us to sit here and act like if we went to Sheol, it's out of nowhere. Didn't we have signs? That's the whole purpose. See, that's why nobody's going to get away. People keep thinking they're going to get away because then he going to have this people, he going to get who didn't know. That's a lie. Everybody getting it. He said, and the one that knew his will. He said, I'm going to beat them with many stripes. And the one that didn't know, I'm saying, enter ye into the Malkut, the Elohim. He said, I'm going to beat them. So it's a beating for everybody that don't get it. It's important because there are things that we deal with on a carnal, everyday basis that just makes all the sense in the world to justify everything he said. Like I just told you about being a inheritor from somebody else. And when did you get it? After their death. I don't get it. Why he had to die for us to get salvation? Why did your grandmama and your granddaddy, your daddy, your mama have to die for you to get the house? Or for you to get their bank account? Because while they were living, it was theirs. So the opportunity came at the point of their death, someone else can take it. I no longer need it. I actually set this up for you. So salvation was implemented because of us. It was for us to become heirs. I guess if people pay attention to good teaching, that's a matter where you're at. Listen, this ain't for everybody. I ain't for everybody. When I say ain't for everybody, I'm for people. I'm a lover of people. That don't make me no different by people color or stuff like that. People look funny to me. I look funny to people too, and their mama. So I just had to put that out there. Some stuff you ain't gonna break. No, I just mess with you. But at the end of the day, I want to understand what I'm doing so I can embrace it. And there's a fear. I know for some of you guys, it's a fear because you look at some of you guys. How many of y'all came when we was on the Way of God Church? So these people trying to... back then before you were speaking, Rosetta Stone. Yeah, that back he was early in Rosetta Stone. Then we transitioned to the way of... No, I don't want the way of y'all damn, the way of some Yeshua. We were the way of who? Way of God, Church of Yeshua. Then we had to move from God and church. So we made some transition and change the name statewide. I know I already was so confused, but they getting their money. At the end of the day, you know, they said, well, why you change the name? I said, I changed the name because if I find out it ain't right, that's what we got to do. It ain't built upon, oh, well, you change that name with that, people died on it. Listen, that stuff, that's other people's commitment. The only commitment all of us have, and so you'll be sure, that's to make sure we're right. We don't have no commitment to a name. Not when I said not, please don't think I'm not talking about his servitude and that. But we're not held to no organizational structure. That's right. Because first of all, we are organism first. Right. Of course, there is organization. Right. There has to be organization. There has to be structure to what we're doing. But we had to first learn how to operate like a body. That's the first thing he always could. He tried to assemble us as a body. When he sent all the people out, he sent them out as one man. When he called him, he told you, he said, when Yasharal was a child, he said, then I harbored him. He said, I called my being out of Mizraim. That was that whole mixed multitude. That was not no, I don't know, people don't like to talk about the Hebrews, like whoever else in the group. There's not a fight with me because I don't have the time and energy, but I'll do it if I have to. But the thing is, people fight things and don't realize they never came out as just one people of one color or culture. They were a mixture of people. You had from the Axiom people that they're going to call the Ethiopians. You got the Mizraim they're going to call Egyptians. You had us. You had other people we met. You had more. You had so many people that came out with us. Yet all these people, we bear one thing in common. We all believe the same thing. We all fear the same thing. That's what we do. We all have to have the same fear. The reason why we don't have the same fear, because a lot of the fear is taught by the precept of unashamed. You know what I'm saying? If he's got something for being, I mean, I think you'll be fine. You go ahead and do it. That's dangerous. That you can okay something that he said, I'm not good with. And that's what people are doing. That's what kind of made us leave from our steadfastness. We lost a lot of things that culturally we didn't do because we mixed in with people and they sold us a bad bill of goods as though we would be okay. Y'all got it, and it hurt us. Now we're trying to recover people and bring us back, and it's the hardest part. It's like getting you addicted on alcohol till you are filthy drunk, then say, stop drinking right now. It's not going to happen. You might desire it, but that's going to be a process. You know what I'm saying? People try to tell you how you got to, people say you got to detox. Amazing that people don't look at you got to detox. You got to start doing things where you can work that out so you can move from the desire of to it becomes strong enough that it drives you to do. And these are the things you got to do when they come down to Kataim. We've been saying how long? You don't even have the people, they'll put whosoever practice in. Hell, we ain't practicing, it's just what we do, we expert. Right. Every sinner ain't practicing, he's an expert. That's right. How a sinner get it to my, I don't know how to really sin. Nigga, you an expert. Right. Every sinner, everybody commit sin is an expert. Yep. So you ain't practicing, you know what I'm saying? That's what you do. So it doesn't just happen that you just stop. It's so important to understand how information works. Once you get real live data information, what's going on, it changes how you look at things. Even when we look at mechanics, how they did things time before, they got real computers now. They can go in, not originally who just hooked up and read code. Some going to do live data. This is what your car doing right now. Go through and point and show you what it's doing, then show you exactly what it's supposed to be doing. Said no, we don't guess the fix. We go immediately right to the problem in the source. You know what I'm saying? They've setting up technology where it can walk you through and show you what was the manufacturer specs and code, not just go and say, me, I know they spec, but I like to do it this way. But that's not how the manufacturer set it up. It's important to know a lot of times the detriment when you get outside of manufacturer codes and things, because now you void your warranty. Why is this important? A lot of things you can do that are sound and feel good to you, I show you outside the manufacturer code, the manufacturer's code when it comes to Yahuwah, and he's not going to warranty that. You said I'll never leave you nor forsake you. You need to go back and check the manufacturer code on how we designate that to be set.
That's right.
That's all based off of protocol. Hello?
Yes, sir.
That's just the truth. There's a lot you got to do. And just like a car, and these new technology cars, the same thing happen when it comes to Yahuwah. You got to start let you know your tire is not, it's losing air. Now it ain't just show you, before it just let you know a tire losing air, now it'll tell you which tire. Yeah. Then it'll show you what all the tires supposed to be. Right. So now you just go and stick it on there. I put some, and then take it out. I put some, you didn't put enough. Which means now you're not sufficient when you're out here and you're rolling and you're going. It's important so now you get your full wear. And that's the same thing when they come down to this. Hello? He told you redeeming the time. Yeah. Getting the full value out of it. But when you underinflate it, or overinflate it, isn't that right? Or you running outside the manufacturer code, how long you actually going to go? You know why a lot of people like new cars, they say ain't nothing to do with just put gas and drive and go. Well, that's kind of where we go because now it's up under the warranty of for a certain period of time unless you buy what we call extended warranty. That's what we got with Yahuwah. Man wore that first warranty out he had. He did. He wore that first warranty out. We need extended warranty now. That's where with Yahuwah. Well, we got somebody come in and maintenance when we get this certain situation problem. I said, we can take it back and let them warranty it. Let them stand behind it. But it still got to be kept a certain type of way. Hello? What we want to do is be certified. See, people don't realize they got certain cars certified. BMW certified their cars. You ever see a car, if it ever said certified BMW, you go there and you can get that car and you can trust it. That means they went through it. It met every one of their specs and code, even to the tire depth. They won't even, it can't be BMW certified if the tires don't have enough depth on them. They refuse to do it. They said we can't stand behind it. Because we know how this car's supposed to perform, and they can only do it if these things are set in play. That's the same thing with Yahuwah. I like that paint though on there. We're not certifying that. It had me, if the rims are scratched all up and you done scrubbed them out, you didn't know, you can't even be BMW certified. They were not certified. Everybody making this up. They want, did you know that? I mean, it can be pretty, paint good. I'm talking those seats so comfortable. Them rims scrubbed up. They said, we're not certifying that thing. We can't certify. It got to be repaired before we're certified. Before we put our name on it, it got to be fixed. It's got to have a certain appeal. It got to have a certain look. The same thing with us with Yahuwah. He can't certify unless it meets a certain protocol. Right. That's why we spend so much time going back through the book trying to find out what does Yahuwah require. Isn't that right? Just like on your desk, it'll show you that. Low engine oil, tire pressure, coolant low. Some of them will blink, some of them will talk to you, some will show you, some of them tell you shut off. One big truck, they'll do it. It'll tell you right there. I had some, you crank them up, that thing said warning. It'll put warning, red lights are saying. It'll say shut engine off. Shut engine off. It'll just keep flashing, shut the engine off. Said, I don't know what that thing probably tripping. I sure it ain't tripping. Cut off and find out what's falling. So you say it's tripping. Cut it off and see what's falling. Or, how about this? Pack your bags. Remember, it's tripping. That's a mechanic joke. Then some of my kids want to be a mechanic. None of my kids want to be a mechanic. I'm at a commander now. Oh, you want to be a mechanic? Well, remember that. If the engine light come on, tell them if you think it's tripping, pack your bags. Oh, you heard that before. Look at the meals. He had to hear it before. Look at the meals. But anyway, so y'all listen. I'll find out something else for y'all, the rest of y'all too, okay? All right, let me see something. Because you want to be an engineer. Let me see. Got to shoot this out the dome. Let me see quick. Ain't got to count me down. 5, 4. Don't push me. All right, you know. Don't push me. All right, how about that? Hold on. Why did the man keep the engine close to him? The motor. Because he want to be an engineer? Y'all ain't why he kept the motor close to him? Engineer? What the engineer, Ray? Oh, here we go. Hold on. Here we go. Hold on for a minute. That man talking about he raised their hand. Why is your hand raised? In case I ask who all like it. You want to have your hand up. Who all hate it? Never That's all right. We don't want you to get in too early. Let's all go in together. Isn't that right? All right, we're going to get ready to let them sign the cartos. So, right, we'll move forward a little bit. All right, come on. Woo. All of that, amen. Kudash Abba, separated Father, Hadu, thanks for all you've done and you rendered unto us. This opportunity, this chance to be limited by you, which is taught, instructed, that we might know you according to the Kitab, which is the writings. Baraka us, which is bestow a benefit or a gift upon us, that we might have an understanding, that we might be receive the Ruach HaKadosh, which is the spirit of separation, allowing us to be joint heirs with the Mashiach, which is the anointed one, that we might inherit your Malkuth, which is your empire. Baraka us and blot out all of our kata and our ma'al, which are our sins and our transgression, before us alarm too late, forever. Baraka those that are watching in, that ask us palau for them and with them, that we commit to you in palau, in which we ask that you'll baraka them, which will bestow a gift or a benefit on them, to grant them their love's desire, which is their heart's desire. Baraka the out-of-towners, to strengthen them, those that came from far and near, those that pressed to go back, and those that are still waiting to return, that they lose nothing. Be a keeper unto them and be their nakum, which is their consolation. Baraka us all that might instill in us the berith, which is the covenant, that we'll have an understanding, that we'll know, and that we'll halak thereby, which is walk thereby. Be a baraka to the married, the single, the separated, the sick, the afflicted, behind prison walls, war-stricken country, bereaved, storm, flood, fires, tornadoes, earthquakes, whatever the situation, circumstances, we commit them to your trust, considering ourselves. We palau, in which we ask that you search us and see if there be any rosha darak, which are any evil ways. Cast it from us and lead us in the arak everlasting, which is the way of life. Let the debar of our paw, which are the words of our mouth, let the meditation of our lives, which is of our hearts, be acceptable in your which is in your sight. And as we prepare to move further, we palau, in which we ask that you take full control, that you get the tahalim, the praise, the kabod, the glory, and the kabod, the honor, in the shem, which is the name of Yahushua, Yahushua HaMashiach. Let us all say, Amen. All right. Romans. All right. All right. 15 and 4, Romans, we're using, now this program, what's the name of the program if somebody want to use it? The Word. So that'll show you the Latin, the King James Version, and the Greek. It's important. We use those. We use all of them. We'll switch up sometime. We'll use Beth HaMashiach, which it'll have Greek, English, King James, Latin. But you have to go through and keep dissecting a lot of the stuff these people go. Because I think at some points he write on opinion more than he does facts. Our goal right now, we don't have time for opinion. Just give us all the information. Let us go through and dissect and let us deal with it, and we'll figure. When I'm saying I'm not telling y'all to do it, but unfortunately, we have to be spoon-fed from our oppressors.
Right.
So they'll give us enough that they'll make you feel like, okay, run with it. It's safe. It's kind of like fish. You got something to bone, you feel like you keep getting a couple of good pieces. After a while, you're going to pick the bone.
Yep.
And you go hop, that thing. You realize, let me slow down.
Yep.
Get smaller bites. How many of y'all get, sometimes you get hit in them big pieces, you like, man, I'm good. Until one of them bone hit you and stick you or get caught, And you got to call back up. You said, let me take my time. And that's what they done up. They made us think that we safe and we can just run through him without questioning, without looking, without understanding, when you can't do it, because you got to remember, people write based off opinions and feelings. Yeah, people write a kid's book based off of what? Possibly having kids, they like for kids, or trying to draw kids, distract kids, educate kids. So people got opinions and feelings when you get involved when you start dealing with writers. I need to know, what was your opinion? Because a lot of the stuff that we're getting, that we go and we read, are people that wrote it. None of these people believed it. The Greeks didn't believe it. The Latins didn't believe it. James and them didn't believe it. They only wrote to secure the position of the Catholic Church. So these people know they could use an all-seeing eye, and they'll use that now. That's why you got on the dollar. It had the fear, or people felt like they used religion as a pawn to keep people from doing wrong. I put this down as valuable. I'm not even going to worry about watching this, because one thing about it, the Lord sees everything. And the Lord who sees in secret will reward you openly. He'll pay and you will burn in hell. People are like, man, I'm not trying to burn no hell. But I'm going to leave it alone. That was their fear of keeping you from something. Now, this is what you ask, which I'm a believer that Elohim does see and he reward. But they taught in the fear to work for their benefit. That same God that they said see and reward for evil works, why didn't he reward them when they stole and kidnapped us? Right. When they invaded their islands in Colombia and Columbus raped. Right. See, they always telling you about how he'll repay, how he'll get you. He watches over and he sees. But if they actually believe what they told you, wouldn't there be a discipline on their behavior? Right. So guess what happened to this? What happened to a lot of our people, from Hispanics to blacks to other races, other ethnic groups? People just thought, it don't make sense. You're teaching me about something that you yourself don't even feel or believe. Right. So guess what? Now it made us feel like he doesn't exist. Right. Versus they gave us him under cover of another God, another deity. Right. Then they told us lies under the cover of him. We knew there was a supreme ruler. You know what I'm saying? But the way they taught it to it, it made us feel it though, there couldn't be. Because why hadn't these people been repaid? But then we didn't think about this. How long you been doing wrong? Why you ain't been repaid? So then guess what we understand what he told Mushah he gave up. Yahuwah, long suffering, abundant in recall, and I by no means clearly guilty. And every one of these folks that hate me, I'm going to repay them to their panit, to their face. Y'all got it? So we're waiting on that court date. That's right. When you get arrested, you don't immediately go to trial. They have a sentencing date. Isn't that right? Evidence got to be gathered. Because you're saying you're not guilty. We're going to have to bring this to trial. What do you think got to happen with us? Under Yahushua, we're saying we're not guilty. Now, you know what they'll do? Atlanta did this amazing years ago, back in the 80s. When I was a pharmacist, I didn't get my paperwork. It was supposed to be in the mail. It's coming. And now I got out the business. But anyway, when they would arrest you in Atlanta, I had some guy that was arrested in Atlanta, and I had to go over there with them. Atlanta would arrest you and let you out and put you immediately on probation before you went to court, to give you an opportunity to get yourself together before you appear to go to court for leniency. That's what Yahushua had done for us in a sense. This opportunity we got, we all guilty of it. Now he giving us an opportunity to go in and start doing some community service in a sense, going to start doing some things, we start reporting. So we appear in the sight, in the mashpat, in the judgment, he can come along and say, listen, they had committed that. We're not saying it wasn't, but we want to go and look at what they've done since arrest time before they got to court. And using this to weigh against the sentencing of what? Sheol. Make sense? Yes, sir. All right? But some of us done got back in trouble since then. That's why we got to be careful. Don't get into any more trouble.
That's right.
All right, this is Romans 15 and 4. Listen.
For whatever Nikatab before.
For whatever was written before.
Nikatab for our Lamed.
It was written to. That's right, to teach us, to show us, and to instruct us. So we understand it from that point. I can't possibly know how to do something until it's shown to me. That's what we look at with the book. That's why we go here and we read it. In Daniel 10 and 21, he said, and I will shew thee that which was known. That's why we know to show or to teach. So in me showing you, I'm going to teach you. I'm going to instruct you so you'll know. That's the way he looked at it. It's not possible for man to just know how to live right. Things had to be designated so we'll know this is prescribed, this is not prescribed. This is condemned. This is acceptable. All these things had to be done. That's why with tube you had to have rosha. Why you think you had to have night and day? So you can have something to differentiate between the two. They couldn't be similar. Night and day are not similar. Tell you who he look at, he said, all of it light to me. I can see in the dark. Just as well I see as you see in the day. You got animals that do the same thing. You got animals that they call that a nocturnal. They operate better in the night. They just as you do in the daytime. So he set up things that can work in these different fractions so you can see clearly, I can do the same thing. He got animals just like Ari. Ari can take like a full moon. It don't really work for Ari. That's not a good move for him because the other animal can see it and it kind of takes away his cover. Mm-hmm. The way he set in the lens of his eye set, it's used to take the light that's shown and he can bend it and use it where he can see better in the dark than other things that he's trying to approach on attack. A full moon is really bad for him. It's too much light. It's too much light for him because it give other animals the cover to see too. But we don't even look up at the Yari later, so we don't pay attention. We were kids. We were outside at night, especially in the country. You ain't seen no Yari or no star to you. Them ones in the country, them boys come some double D better. Them boys, they just don't hit the ground. When you look at the country, them some different. Them ain't the same one y'all see over here. Them city stars different. Them country stars, them bad boys bungled up there together. Them bad boys light for real. But anyway, he can see, he can operate in any aspect. That's our goal, to learn how to do the same thing. Y'all got it? So now he just told us that we was the ore of the arats. Our ore is usually used to penetrate through what?
Darkness.
It makes no sense to turn on light in light. You actually would turn on to try to penetrate darkness. That's what we did. We got the regular light we put. We said, well, you know what? It's still some
darkness.
Dark spots. So what we do? We start illuminating them areas till we can totally get what?
Light.
The darkness out and light completely rules. Well, that's the same thing we're trying to do when you take on the Daud, the word. We're trying to get to where we continue to put enough light in that darkness don't rule. Because if you leave that little cavity or that little cavity setting where darkness is, things will happen. Just like in your house, in your basement. How many of y'all got basements? Especially if it's concrete floor, you'll get some dark areas in the back. It'll tend to be moist. Mm-hmm. It'll get moist there because there's no light that's there. So it can damn the work. Now once mold start, mold will spread. That's the same thing we found with darkness. It'll spread. So that's why there's a constant regurgitating, or now I'm going to say, no, not regurgitating. For us, we'll be indulging or ingesting more and more Daud, which will put more light on the inside. See, what we worked on first thing people look for recovery is change of dress. You're a woman, start wearing pants. You're a man, start wearing pants with the butthole cut out of them. I don't know why you do. I just came up with it so everybody get hit. They hit me now time.
All right.
That's an invitation pant. I don't want them. So people will do that outward appearance, and that's a good start. I wouldn't force a person to the inward part first, because even Shalumah talked about how he was crafty. That's how he caught him with guile. A lot of things we start learning how in depth it really gets, we learn later. After we had already looked at, I've been snagged, I've been pulled, now I'm learning how to work on the inward parts. Y'all saying serving when the inward, because you can do an outward appearance. You can go down and you can plow, but then in yourself you're saying, what, I hate this, it's uncomfortable, this stupid, this dumb, but you done it. So now we start learning how to serve him with our minds. Y'all got to start learning how to serve him with our heart, with our inward, our heart. You know what I'm saying? Making our affection about the things that he cares about. The thing here, what does a heart, what does he care for? So all these things I want to go through and learn, I want to make sure my heart is set on that. Y'all got it? I want to make sure my mind is thinking on the things of. Now I'm learning how to serve him with my inward parts and not my outward. He said, well, we don't want to wear short sleeve, wear long sleeve. If that was an order given by Yahuwah, just say a standard set. We said, well, I'm going to do it. I'm going to make sure I always wear a long sleeve. But then I said, man, this dumb, this stupid, these long sleeves, irritating them high. I don't know why. So you don't see it, but that's my murmur from where? Inside, because I hadn't learned how to get my inward parts. Y'all got it. These are the things we're trying to grasp the concept of. How do I serve him with my inward part? My affection, my mind, the way I think. The book declares in the third chapter book of Colossians, if you then be risen with the Mashiach, seek those things which are where the Mashiach sets. Set your on things where? See, is that you can't just think now my whole being, my whole attraction, my whole affection has to be on being there. So these are things that's important for us to consider how to serve him with our inward parts. Y'all got it? So let me see. Let's finish this up. Let's see how this goes. Let's see how it work out. For whatever things were written aforetime, katab, scribe, aforetime before was katab for our and showing us, teaching us, instructing us, that through
endurance.
That's a martial going through not quitting. Don't stop. Don't stop till you get enough. So that's what we're looking to do. And
Nakum.
That's right, a reward. That's how it go. What do we say a reward was? Something given in recognition. That's right, effort or achievement. So who's going to get this reward? You said no matter who worked? Those who work to achieve. Because we don't want to say those that work. I'm going to tell you why. You left a real broad opening. Okay, let me see this. Yahushua declared in the book of Matthew, he said, when he came and sat down upon his throne, he said he was going to sit down, he's going to divide the sheep from the sheep from the goat. He said then he was going to take the sheep and told them to enter into the Malkuth of Elohim, but to the wicked he was going to tell them to depart. Anybody know? You said what now? You said unemployed? You said people that wasn't doing nothing. So how you workers of iniquity mean done no work? Right. So we don't want to, I want to show you, certain things we say, we want to try to condense it down to where you don't leave room. Because if you say them that work, so now we're going to say people that commit kata don't work. That don't make sense because he told us that the wages of kataim were what? What are wages? Wages are compensation for work that's been done. Right. When you say, give me my check. Because you look at, I've done some work and I won't be paid. He said, you have done work. And what your pay is, I'm going to put you in Sheol. So we don't want to leave it broad. We want to condense it down that we see. You know what I'm saying? Those that work to achieve. Y'all got it? Those that do the right work. So we make sure there's no room. How we are, we people of habit. We always looking at how to get around something. Believe it or not, that's just normal. You had to condense that. Oh, we think, well, they didn't say that. So we could do it. So that's just the mind. The mind is open to where other interpretation, other ideals will try to come and contemplate to look at what it can get away, what it can get around with it, what's sufficient or just enough. Like we read scant measure, the scant, S-C-A-N-T, which is barely sufficient. That's what people do. I ain't worried about trying to get an 8 as long as I pass. That's scant. Barely sufficient. If you get a 70, you good. So if people work to get a 70. Why work to get 100? It don't make no difference. My department going to say the same thing yours, that I completed it. But you didn't put everything you could. And what we're doing now, in the book of Kahalath, that they'll call Ecclesiastes, it told you whatsoever you find it to do. See, that's a lot of people condemnation right there. That's what he told him, man. He said, whatever you find to do, you're supposed to do it with all your might. Because he said there's no knowledge and there's no strength in Kabar, the grave. He said, not where you going. That's right. Ain't that right? That's why Yahuwah did everything he could. Huh? Even with Shamshun, what y'all think he did? With all his might. When he locked himself on the 2 pillars, he asked Yahuwah to strengthen him there one more time. And he found it to do it. You know how he did it? With all his might, he made the building collapse. He said, just give me enough where the king fall. You know what I'm saying? I just want the queen to shake. No, I want to take this whole thing down. Y'all got it? Because he looked at where he was going. Wasn't no strength and no knowledge, not where he was going. Y'all got it? So now, through that, and through the comfort, the nakum, the reward of the writings, see, there's a reward, there's a benefit. This is what I want to look at. I look at this now, we'll look at a benefit. That's what we found out we asked for Baraka, the benefits. There's a benefit in action. You know how many times folk done pick up stuff, you come in and say, just get some. You say, did you ask? No. Can I have it? No. That's screwed up because I didn't ask. He wanted us to learn how to do stuff like that. That's what he told you ask. You know why you didn't have not? Because you didn't ask not. And then somebody said, I did ask. You didn't ask correctly. Give it to me. I asked it though, didn't it? The book declares in the book that we might have ticked, which is the core. Well, let me see. Look up amiss. How do they spell that? A-M-I-S-S? Okay, let me see. Let's see what amiss is. I would say wrong or incorrectly. What y'all think? Somebody said, think so? A bad shopping? Oh, he said a bad shot of me. That bad, because none of these kids want to play basketball. You're not for the kids, are you? He not for the kid. All that stuff was for the kid. No, a miss. Said not quite, inappropriate, or out of, see that? A miss. That's what, how many of y'all never looked this up? Neither, I didn't either, but I wasn't crazy. I had an idea. That's the difference when you're Ukanon, I'm sorry, Jacob, they call the book of James, he said, you have not because you have not. He said, you don't ask not quite right. Y'all got it? Or it's inappropriate, or it's out of place. Y'all see that? That's the kind of thing right here we want to try to make sure we're mindful of. We saying we asking you, we want to make sure it's right. When you say it ain't quite right, that means you're not far off. That don't work for us. We want to be dead on. They said, from their definition from English subscribing, they're saying, well, it ain't quite right. It's got some validity to it, but it's not, fully correct. It's not exact. You know what I'm saying? Our goal is to be exact. And for us to understand exact for him was the way he made unashamed, in his image and in his likeness. And the exact public display of him to be shown. Y'all got it? So I want to look at the things he looking at making something exact. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we want to try to do. We want to try to make sure we're mimicking, we're following the very same things that he told us. Y'all got it? Let's see something. Pick me up. Y'all finished writing this down? Okay. My young people still write. I want to make sure they got it. So that way, when they understand word, they understand when words being used on them or against them or in conversation. A lot of times we'll have conversation with people, we'll use words, we don't know what we actually said. See, white people be speaking from the first, the second, or the third definition. But you wouldn't know it even had 3 or 4 definitions. You'll only stick with one. Y'all got it? So they cunning in conversation. Same thing, Yahushua, why even his own people, they were talking. I'm trying to see where you're trying to go. Like you will find a lot of times he wouldn't reply when people ask him stuff. Because he realized I'm trying to figure where you're trying to go, because sometimes there's more than one definition to a word. We just jump straight out the mouth out to what we know. You'd be surprised when things might have 4 or 5 different meanings. So they might not be using the same way you're using it. Hello? Okay. We're trying to make sure how we do this stuff. Y'all got it? All right, let's work. Let me see if that's the 5th chapter of the book of Ukanon. For whatever reason. Let's see where it go. How about that? We're going to ride it out. Let's see where it go. I'll start here. Okay. Let's see how that work out. How about that? He only crying because he's fat. About 4 months, almost 20 pounds. That's the white, little heavy Chevy. All right, this is 5 and 17. Ukanon. 5 and 17, please. All right, this James Version. This is the Latin. The Latin is going to be older than the King James Version. All right, listen.
But Yahushua answered them, Abba worketh hitherto, and I work.
Well, the Greeks actually write similar to what we read in the what's called. He said, but Yahushua answered them, my Abba worketh until now, and
I work.
All right, both of us working. So let's see what happened.
Therefore, the Yahudim sought the more to kill him, because he not only had broken the Shabbat, but said also that Elohim was his Abba, making himself equal with Elohim.
That's what he said. Making himself equal with Elohim. Y'all see that? That's crazy. So now we understand something that Yahuwah was still working while Adam was. He said he was working until now, and I work. They understood that he said he had made himself equal to Elohim, equivalent. Isn't that right? Isn't that right? Basically, that's the sum of the matter, isn't it? He basically gave him the sum of the matter. My Abba worked hitherto, up until now, and I work. They understood that he not only had broken Shabbat based off of what they were saying, but that was the case, all the people that came to him for the healing that came out when the Ma'im was stirred up had broken Shabbat. They declared before that it was 6 Yamim that each ought to be healed, and not on Shabbat. Yet when they came down to trouble the water, that was on Shabbat. This same thing they're accusing him of. This is when the man was laying at the pool to be healed. Every Shana that the Malaki would come down, the messenger, no angels, it's a messenger, his messenger, that's what Malaki is, came down and they would stir up the water, which it meant it would be chaotic. The water would be chaotic, and whoever would step in the Ma'im when it was chaotic would be healed. That was on Shabbat. That's the same time he saw the man and he cured him. Why was the Malaki coming down to heal people on Shabbat? He told us healing is the children of come. He gave that to us. Y'all got it?
Sure.
So now it's important for us to understand that these folks therefore sought the more to kill him because he had not only broken Shabbat, but also said Elohim was his Abba, making himself
Equal with Elohim.
to Elohim. Let's look up what the word equal is. We know this is not our word, but since we speak English, it makes sense for us to understand it, right?
Yes, sir.
Being the same in quantity, size, degree, or value. Having the same statutes, rights, or opportunities, what we'll look at. This we couldn't use. Being the same in quantity, size, degree, or value, we couldn't. We couldn't use that. That's why y'all pay me. You'll write the wrong thing, you'll run out, you'll run your mouth. That's why shut your mouth with this book. That wouldn't make sense. He was not the equivalent exact same size as Elohim. Okay? But what he did do, having the same stature, rights, or opportunities. I'm sorry, same thing. If you have a status and you leave it sitting there and you don't move it, what does the statue do? Same thing. Had the same status. That's how we doing. We stopping our mouth. Henry Grady used to do that, and I do the same thing now. I also appreciate that status. So that's what we look at the same status. We know this simply because we would look at Pharaoh. When the people came to Pharaoh, when Yusuf took it over, the people went to Pharaoh because Pharaoh could liberate, he could decree, he could mashpat. He told them, when they came to him and they was sa'aking to him, he told them to go to Yusuf. And whatever he say, which meant that Yusuf had the same status, opportunities, and rights as Pharaoh. Right. Y'all got it? He had the same status. Because why would I tell you to go to him? Basically, tell you, had you gone to him, it was just like coming to me. Whatever he told you, all my word would be the same thing, a protocol that I would designate. So we get to see that, or we've seen this operate on other capacities or other statures. Let's see, matter of fact, since I called that, should be the 42nd chapter, I'm thinking, of the book of Barashit. They call it Genesis. 42, probably, I don't know, was it 43? Probably to read it down, let me say. Might be lower than that, let me say. Y'all got to forgive me. I don't remember like I used to. I got to know so much stuff now. Ooh, I can't remember everything I know. 41. All right. Give me 40. 42 and 40. Appreciate that, boss. Oh, chapter 41. Why did I go 42? It's at 41. 4140. I'm gonna do 40. 41 and 40. I don't have to probably go down anyway. Let's see. Let's see what y'all done done. Let's go. Listen.
Thou shalt be over my bed, and according unto thy debar shall
Y'all see
all
that?
my arm.
According to thy word shall.
All my arm be sharp.
Hold on for a minute. And all my arms shall be obedient to thy word. That makes a difference. According unto your word shall all my people be ruled. You can give let me say this. You can put a rule over people, but people don't have to obey it. People don't realize that sign out there said 45 miles an hour. That's over the people too. But do people obey it? No. You put a stop sign out there, that's over people too. That does not mean it rules to a fact that people obey it. That's a different. My people are to obey what you tell them. You can say a whole lot of stuff. I don't mean people gonna obey it. Got it? They had to obey what he said. Okay? Let's see this. Only in the throne will I
be greater than thou.
I excel thee. So you see why I said one word when we took the first definition? You could not use exact. That would not make sense, not if I'm excelling over you. Even in the book of 1 Corinthians, the 15th chapter, and about the 23rd verse, he declared how everybody be subject to him, and he put all things under. And then it told you after he had subdued all things, he had to give it right back to the Abba.
That's right.
That the Abba could be all in all. Y'all got it? So there's never that they were the same exact. You can't do it. Remember, he took a man and put part of himself in the man, not all. Y'all got it? Part. So it's not exact. Okay? All right, let's see what happened.
And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, see, I have set thee over all the Arats of Mizraim.
Y'all see what he told him? I put you over all the Arats of Mizraim. Listen.
And Pharaoh took off his ring from his hand, and put it upon Joseph's hand, and arrayed him in vestures of fine linen, and put a gold chain about his neck.
Hold on for a minute. Stop. Gold chain. Just a necklace of gold about his neck. And see, them folk coming on these church, they strip the man down. They don't want to have no ring. They don't want to have no necklace. I don't know why. You supposed to be a malak. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know, folks trying to be saved. You don't need all that stuff, man. Who said they weren't trying to be saved?
That's right.
Why he tell them to keep that ring? I just want to be in the kingdom of heaven. I don't know, because it was a sign of status. Mm-hmm. All right, come on.
And he made him to ride in the second chariot, which he had, and they sayat before him.
He mounted him. Yeah, he set him on the second chariot, and hurled made.
Bow the knee, and he made him sar over all the Arats of Mizraim.
All right. Okay.
And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I am Pharaoh, and without thee shall no ish lift up his hand or foot in all the Arats of Mizraim.
See, he let him know, first of all, I know who I am. I'm secure in who I am. He wanted to make sure that was stated. I'm secure in who I am. But nobody should lift up a hand or do anything in Mizraim without you telling them. That would confirm the statement that the people had to be obedient to him. Mm-hmm. Now, what do you think was going to be to happen? Well, can you please try to see if you just do what he tell you? I'm not telling you, I told you I'm Pharaoh. This is the only way it's going to work, or you getting out of him. I set him up for this purpose, that nobody is to lift up a hand or do anything but except he told you to do it. So it makes sense that the statement that made by the Greeks makes sense, that everybody is supposed to shama what you say. Okay, which is to hear. That makes a difference. Shama is to hear with the intent to do. You come here, you got to be listening, because that's what I'm going to do. A lot of y'all don't. You come so you can listen. People listen to gossip. The difference with us, so how would these people have to listen to, think about it, how would they have to listen to him? What did he say? I went with him. Because that made sense. You went and done something. I didn't tell him to do it. That's dangerous for him. He was not told to do that. So now everybody would listen, so you would know what to do based off of what he said. So that makes a difference now when you start looking at Yahusha. on what he said, because it's predicated on whether or not this man will accept you. Okay? All right, let's see.
And Pharaoh, Yakra, Yosef, Shem, Zaphnath, Paniah,
Which is different than what they put right here. Fasnatam. Okay. And gave him, which, if I'm correct, his name by them, by Mizraim, there was supposed to be, I think, the one that, the interpreter of dreams. I think the name, so this won't be an Abari word. It probably could have possibly became one of our words simply because he would have been noted as, just like Musha name, this would not have been one of our word. It would have became simply because we would have been naming, we would have been calling him by the Shem. So it would have made a difference. So it would have became in our vocabulary. It would have became a part of our writing simply, you know what I'm saying, or meaning, because now he's been adopted into our culture. So which tells us as well, there are a lot of words we have that we say Abarim that have been adopted from other cultures. Y'all got that? Because you cannot, Musha was not our word. That's not a word. His mother named him was Mizraim. That was not our word, it was theirs. She said because she had drew him from the word. Some say boy, baby. You know, right? Some of them look at it as deliverer or savior, simply because he was delivered. That she could have very well called him by a name that meant delivered. Hello? Okay. I'm just trying to get y'all to, it's just important to think about certain things as you're doing them, okay? All right, go ahead.
and he gave him to Ashah, Asnath, the Bath of Potipharah, Kahan of On, and Joseph went out
Totally
over
different
all
name.
the Arats of Mizraim.
Hold on, let's say, go on. I mean, you'll go at 46. That's it? All right. Listen what happened.
And Joseph was 30 years old when he stood before Pharaoh, Malak of Mizraim. And Joseph went out from the presence of Pharaoh and went throughout all the Arats of Mizraim.
Y'all paying attention to that? All right, hold you got. Oriah chapter 3, verse 30. Make it 28. They call it Luke. Let's see, 3 and about 28, I think it is. That's 30, 28. Okay, 26. 24, 23. All right, 23. Listen.
And Yahushua himself began to be about 30 shanim of age, being as was supposed the ben of Joseph.
Let me ask you a question. What do you think the significance was telling you this statement? Since you read it.
Have to listen to obey.
What do y'all think the significance was? He was going out at that point. Yahushua was 30 years old when he took in the reign, and that's when he went out from Pharaoh. Yahushua was getting ready to go out. It just went down to start telling you about his lineage. But the fact that he told you he was 30 years old, you go back and look at Pharaoh, look at Yahushua. When Yahushua was 30 years old, he was going out from Pharaoh. Y'all get it?
Yes, sir.
See, if people pay attention, if you go back and you look, they'll tell you his ministry was only 3 years. That's why they'll only count 3 years of his ministry. From 30 to 33. Because they looked at that being significant. Just like with Yahushua. Is that the first time Yahushua did anything at 30 years old? His brother, when he was at home with his ogden, he had told him about interpretations of things. He had done work before that. But we start looking at his most significant work for us started at 30. That's when he went and got, after this time period here, was during the time period when he'd have brought his mishpachah, his family, from the land of Canaan where we were dwelling at because of starvation. And he brought us into the land of Mizraim. So his most significant part of his working for us started at 30 years of age. Hello? That quick, you got to be able to pick up stuff when you read. All right, let's go back. See, when people start going out here to the dog, they're not thinking. He told you a statement and he moved because you got to be thinking when you read. You always got to think on your feet, even if you're sitting down. Make sure your toes on the ground, 10 toes down. This is how we roll. See, 46. Read again.
And Joseph was 30 years old when he...
As it was supposed, the ben of who? Yahusha was the ben of Yahusha? Oh, no. So he told you. And Yahusha was 30 years old when he stood before Pharaoh, the Malak of Mizraim. And Yahusha went out from the presence of Pharaoh. And look what he did. And went throughout all the land of Mizraim. Yahusha would have went through all the land of Yehuda. He went through all of Jerusalem. Isn't that right? Let's see what happened. 47. 47.
And in the 7 plenteous Shana, the Arats brought forth by handfuls.
Okay.
And he gathered up all the food of the 7 Shana, which were in the Arats of Mizraim, and laid up the food in the cities, and the food for the field, which was round about every city, laid he up in the same.
Mm-hmm. See that? He made sure provision everywhere the people were. Listen.
And Joseph gathered wheat as the sand of the yam, very much, until he left numbering, for it was without number.
It couldn't even be numbered, for there was no number. He took in that much wheat that they couldn't even number it. It was that much, there wasn't even a number. So all these folks come out with these infinity number. He could have told they didn't have a number for it. They went past counting, it was so many. That's the same thing he tried to tell. That's why he let you know you use something that you know you could number. Trying to be smart. Number the sand of the sea, of the yam. You can't. It's too small granular. You get I give you a handful of, so just tell me how many pieces of
That's right.
You don't get stuff you ain't missing. Some are going to be dust fiber, going to disappear and move out of your way, but it's counted in there with it. So we understood. Listen.
And until Joseph were born.
I'm already at 57. We're at 56.
We're 50.
50. Damn, we ain't rolling around here. All right, listen. All right, come on.
And until Joseph were born to Bani before the Shana of famine came. And Asenath, the Bath of Potipharah, Kahan of On, bare unto him. Mm-hmm. And Joseph, Yachra, the Shem of the firstborn, Manasseh. For Elohim, he said, hath made me forget all my toil.
That's what his name means. Y'all hear that?
Yes, sir.
So you can see how Yahushua will be beneficial for us. Because Yahushua, one of his characteristics would have been Manasseh. When the book told us that he was going to appear and he was going to wipe away all tears from our eyes, what was he going to have to do? You're going to make me forget all my toils, Manasseh. Why would I just start crying? Stop that crying. What are you going to do? The principle our old parents do? Whoop us to make us start crying. Then you had to do something to make me get over everything I've gone. Remember, he gone through being put inside of a grave, left for dead. He went from being sold into Mizraim. He went to being accused from rape and being stripped naked, and then being cast down into a prison. And now he's come along, he had a Ben that came along that he named Manasseh, simply because, you know what? Forget about that stuff. Mm. Isn't that right? Forget about that stuff. I don't even, you know what? Having him brought me so much delight that I don't even worry about the stuff I've gone through. That's what we're waiting on him to do. He's Manasseh for us. That makes sense. See, we name our kids something. Why? Because it's cute.
Right, right.
He looked at, every time I look at Manasseh, I call that name, it makes me forget about it. Things going to come resonate back in my mind. But you know what? I forgave that. I got past all of that when this person came.
Right, right.
And you know what happens to us a lot of times? This is why you never grow. This is why you never get yourself positioned to receive the Ruach HaKodesh, because you can't forget or forgive stuff.
Right.
You ain't looking at the man elevating you. He elevating the man. The man look at the man and elevated me. I got to get past my past.
That's right.
That's Manasseh. That's Yahushua. He's Manasseh. He made me forget all my toils. Listen.
And all my Abba Beth,
See that? And everything that happened there. Listen.
and the Shem of the second Karahi Ephraim.
Let's see why.
For Elohim hath caused me to be pari in the arats of my affliction.
See that? In my humiliation. Y'all see what he did? He done caused me to increase in the land of my humiliation. Y'all see that? Now we're going to see where this is going to go right quick. 53 and 3, 53, 3, 53, 4, the book of Yeshayahu. Based off the Greeks writing. I want y'all to be thinkers. I want you to let people just program and give you nothing. It's got to make sense to you. This make sense? We'll do 53. Let me see. Let me see. I might have to go somewhere else. Let's see. Listen.
Surely he
Go to
hath
3.
borne
Go to 3.
out.
Go to verse 3. Listen.
He is despised and forsaken of unashamed, a ish of sorrows, and acquainted with grief. And we hid, as it were, our pani from him. He was despised, and we esteemed him not.
Hold on. What did you read?
Well, we had wrote that in from the, I think that was from Beth. She with that he is despised and forsaken, verse 3. But it's rejected,
Rejected.
King James.
And inferior to that of the Benim or unashamed. He was an Ishan suffering and acquainted with the bearing of sickness. For his pani is turned from us. This done, and he hid, as it were, so they put our faces from him. It said, for his face is turned from us. He was dishonored. The Greeks read differently than what James put. And even they wrote, and his look was as it was hidden and despised upon, whereupon we esteemed him not. And we hid, as it were, our faces from him. He was despised, and we esteemed him not. This is different than what they're writing. Which should make sense, he turned his face from us. But they said that we hid as it was our face from him, which makes sense when they stripped him. Similar to when Sham and Yaphat, when Nuach was in the tent and he was uncovered and his wife, they went backwards. So they hid as it was their face from him. Y'all got it? So they turned, but this is saying he turned, but this telling us the Greek saying he turned his face, which is different than saying we hid our faces. This is not the same statement. You agree or disagree, Justin? I agree. This is not the same statement. This is saying we did something versus he did something. What he did would make sense because he told us hitherto our work. And I can use that simply because in the 50-some chapter of the book of Yeshayahu, it said, behold, his hand is not short that he cannot say, neither is he heavy. But your iniquities have separated between you and your Elohim so that we hid ours, that he hid his face from us, which makes sense because he talked about doing the same work as Abba did. See, it's that important to pay attention when these people giving us something. You get comfortable, you start reading, that's not the statement. That's not, even the legends recorded, which is still older than them, they clearly told us, and his look was as it were hidden and despised. Which makes sense. He despised, just like Yahuwah despised Kataim. That's why he'll turn his face from it. It's a sign of disapproval. Y'all got it? It was a sign of disapproval. So doesn't that make sense? It's important. That's why you can't use one of these books because your enemies are constantly working us. The Greeks are part of our enemies as well because everybody wants to keep us from the knowledge of. Don't y'all know what happened once we regain our strength, regain our information? They know we're going to break away from them. It's the same thing when he told Asu when they came down to his ark, you're cold. Isn't that right? After he had become restless, he said, then you're gonna break his yoke from off of you. That's the same thing we're gonna do. We're getting tired, we're getting angry with these people, we're getting more and more pissed. The Christianity hadn't worked. The shot wore off. And now we constantly looking at it's actually hurt us, it never helped us. It hurt us, and we realizing you defamed us, you lied to us when you gave us this religion. And now we say the detriment, and we're not comfortable. It's not pacifying us anymore. Christianity did us well a long time. So we thought. Till we look at it's behind the incarceration of our kids. It's behind the destruction of our home. While they taught us to be passive, they were ushering our kids out of our home, just like they did in slavery when they would come in to take them out the shanty. You stand there and you watch your kids walking out. The same thing they do now. You stand there. Listen, the slave master put on police clothes. He put on suits and ties, became defect. That was the facts. Man, come and open the door. Get back, nigga. Come here. Give me that gal. Give me that nigga gal. Give me that little nigga boy. When they walk them out here, the same thing. Now they come and they say the child, same thing, nigga boy, nigga girl. And walk them out there, and this thing, you know, you lost them. They sitting in foster care. Same thing they did when they sold them to another plantation. Foster care. Foster care didn't get, guess what? They got paid for keeping them, didn't they? Then the foster parents will give them off to somebody else. Foster care ain't new. They've been using this junk on us. Under the acts of what? Christianity. The people that rode those horses, that covered their faces, that hung us on trees were Christians. Same people invaded these islands were Christians. Drunks and rapers and liars and child molesters and murderers. And they came under the premise of the Almighty Elohim as though they were doing his work. As though they were saving people in doing that. Yahuwah used these people because they were heartless. He told them, I'm going to bring on you the worst of the people. That was the part of the punishment that we suffered because of the punishment, because of the afflictions of what our fathers and them caused. And he recompensed us by them. By their hands, he recompensed us. But we didn't go in and realize it was attached to the things we had done. All right, come on. Piss me off. I need Manasseh. Listen.
Surely he hath borne our griefs and carried our sorrows, yet we did esteem him stricken, smitten of Elohim, and afflicted.
Y'all see that? He bears our kata'im and is pained for us, yet we accounted him to be in trouble and in suffering and in affliction. Accounted, esteemed. Okay, I'll go with this. Oh my goodness, they said we thought it was a leper. And there's one struck by Elohim and afflicted. Well, the leper part of makes sense from them putting that, because if you're speaking in a sense, because that's not saying he was, saying we thought him as a leper. When a person was a leper, we pretty much got away from around you. We didn't fool with you. We cut you off. So saying count him as a leper is not calling him a leper. Okay, when a person received leprosy, we look at that being a punishment from Elohim. That he had struck you with that. And we didn't want to fool with you. We weren't going to touch you. Because we look, that was something you received from Elohim. The only person you can say at that point, you need to go see the Kohan. He's the only person that can announce you clean. All right, let's see what he told us. Verse 5, before I move, because they don't have what I want, but I know what I want after this. Listen.
But he was wounded for our transgressions.
On the account of our kata'im.
He was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our shalom was upon him.
Now see that? The correction that he got was given shalom to us. And
with his stripes we are
by his
healed.
Bruises we were healed. Y'all see that? It makes sense that we wind up getting the shalom by his correction. Y'all got it? It wound up becoming a benefit to us. And now we got shalom with Elohim. According to the 57th chapter of the book of Yeshayahu, he talked about he seen him. He said he went on forwardly, which means he went on his own will. And Yahuwah said he saw him. He said, and I'm going to heal him. He said, I'm going to heal him. He told us shalom, shalom to him that is afar off, and to him that is near. He said, but there is no shalom, said Elohim, to the Rosha, to the wicked. So we understood that we got shalom through his chastisement. The only way to get it, somebody had to be corrected for it. Hello? If you be without correction, then you're what? A mamzar. You're illegitimate. You're not connected to him. So because we connected to him, we become the beneficiaries of the shalom. If that correction was in order to get him peace, and if we were connected to him as Adam and Ka'ur was, that makes us heirs with him. So it means we became recipients of that peace, that shalom. Hello? You don't just get it. You have to be connected. You have to be enjoined. Mushah understood that. And the book declares in the 9th chapter of the book of Abarim that when Mushah spake every precept, he took Hyssop and he took the dome. And you know what he did? He sprinkled upon the people and told us what it was. You married. That's the same thing a man did when he married a Bethula, a virgin. He get blood on his rod. That's what enjoins him. So we understood it, that he took blood and hyssop and took the blood of goats and he started sprinkling it on the people and told them that they were enjoined. So we understood that we were married, which means we became recipients, we became beneficiaries of his works. Well, what other reason would he be sprinkling blood on you? All right. All right. What does he say?
All we, like sheep, have gone astray.
Listen, how many?
All we, like sheep, have gone astray.
Mm-hmm.
We have turned every one to his own Darak. And Yahuwah had laid on him the iniquity of us all.
Y'all see what they did? And the Yahuwah gave him up for our Kata'im. Y'all see that? Gave him up for our Kata'im. When he was on the two, he even asked him, why had he forsaken him? That's right. See, the people that were familiar with the Dabarim would have known why. It was for our Kata'im. I turned my back on him. I gave him up for your Kata'im. So we understand how important and how valuable he was for it and how valuable he was to us. Okay? Let's write quick. Give me 8 and 32. Acts of the Shalakine, they call Acts of the Apostles. Yes, Yahoo didn't give me quite what I wanted, but it's all right, though. This is how we roll. Listen.
And the Malkum of the Kitab, which he read, was this.
What was it?
He was led as a sheep to the slaughter, and like a lamb dumb before his shearer, so opened he not his paw.
Pay attention.
In his humiliation.
And his what?
Humiliation.
Tell him what happened.
His mashpah was taken away.
And listen what happened.
And who shall declare his Tuledah?
And who going to declare his generation? Why?
For his Kai is taken from the Arats.
For his life is taken from the Arats. And what happened?
And the eunuch answered Philip and said, I ask thee, of whom speaketh the Nabi this?
Of who?
Of himself?
Or who?
Or of some other ish?
Whom do what now?
Of whom speaketh the Nabi this?
Who?
Of himself?
Or?
Of some other ish?
Let's see. Back over to the 42nd chapter. Barashit, 42, what we left off, 50, 51? Should be 41 still, isn't it? 41. We should have left about 51, verse 51, I think. Let's see. Are we a little lower than that? 42? Listen.
3. And the 7 Shani.
52. Listen.
And the Shem of the 2nd Yakrahi Aphraim.
We call him Apharim. Why?
For Elohim hath caused me to be fruitful in the arats of my affliction.
Or how about in my humiliation?
So,
That we found out with Yahushua in his humiliation. You know what happened? They took away his mosh pot. Same thing for, you know, the same thing happened to Joseph. Oh my goodness, that's tight. Are you with me?
yes, sir.
Hold you guys. Say that 39. Let me see what 39 and 9 say, Barashik. Might want 40. Let me see. Let's see. This is Barashik. Let's see what happened. We'll go up. $39 and 5. Listen.
And it came to pass from the time that he had made him overseer of his beth and over all that he had,
Y'all hear that? Came to pass when he made him an overseer over all his bed and all that he had. Listen.
that Yahuwah Barak the Mizraim beth for Joseph's sake.
Y'all hear what he did? Why y'all think these white people took up and let us be over their houses? Why y'all think they let our mothers take care of their kids?
That's right.
White people never existed that long.
That's right.
They weren't stupid. Why you think they let it? We the animals. Don't forget our women were gorillas.
Right.
They really, that's why you'll see old pictures, they would show a monkey with a black woman holding them. You know, they say, why they do that? Because they can't ever say, we didn't have bras. We got bras from Europeans. So the women tits would hang. They looked at it was similar to them like a gorilla. So they looked at you in a certain way. Don't forget, they marked you as a gorilla, a monkey, a jigaboo, all these things. Yet they let you come in and you nurse their kids.
That's right.
They let their kids drink gorilla milk, monkey milk. They let us nurse them. They let us raise them. They let us discipline them. They let this Negro man, who was nothing but a coon, monkey, jigaboo, come in his house and rule his house for him.
That's right. That's
Be
right.
over all his Abadim in his house.
That's right.
Put them outside and be in charge of other ones in the field. They had white ruler master too, but they would let you rule, or they would pick you because they knew you had sense about it, and you knew how to do business. So you weren't the people they told you. When they tell you slave, they always show you in the most derogatory way. In fact, of course it's derogatory, it's humiliating us simply because we were greater people before we came to it, but they knew we knew how to manage and knew how to fix.
That's right.
We knew how to grow. We know how to reap harvest. This is something we would do. Where we come in it, whether the islands or wherever you put us at. This is a culture for us. We knew about animals and how to do them and nature of the animals. They didn't know. So now you see how important it was to put it there. Look what happened. When he put him down, Yahuwah Barak the best of the Mizraim, because the Mizraim were living right before he got there.
For Joseph's sake.
Simply only because of him. And this was not new. This the same thing happened with Yasakal.
That's right.
When Yasakal fell out with her when they saw him sitting there spoiling his wife. Here's a shot. The same thing when they took her. They came and they sat down. We had a mohawk concerning that.
That's right.
They said, and we knew. It's because of your sake that we even have all of the goods we got. Because of you. America could never, and America had never been told the truth and admitted. We would never have this country. It would never been as stable, which is just so chaotic corrupt, because you turned on the people that established it for you. The people that stood on the arm and fought when you ran. And now you hate them and you incarcerate them. Can you imagine getting out there, we go in, we brothers in the foxhole, we get out, now we criminals. They made us criminals. A lot of people that came from Vietnam War, arrested, black, in jail, drug use, homeless, mental illness, not the whites. You have a few of them, most of them are black.
That's right.
Those people who risked their life, stayed in the jungle, and they didn't get them guns. They didn't get them bullets. Gave them guns with no bullets. How you gonna fight a war with a gun and no bullets? And you gotta survive in the jungle. You come out the urban city, you come out the city suburbs. Somebody drop you off in the jungle out of basic training and take your bullets and say, don't shoot back. What you think these people mind like? So they started self-medicating in the woods. Anything to get how to get their mind past it, just to get out and get back, watching people getting slain and getting killed. White people get medals and rewards, and they get celebrated. The people that went there, most of our people on the street.
Yeah.
Them people you see homeless on the side of the road ask some of them folks. Some of them people Vietnam veterans.
That's right.
Next group you're going to see out there is the one that came from Desert Storm. They the next group going to be out there messed up. Going to have to self-medicate. They've been hit with chemical, biological weapons by their own government. Their own government had them burning stuff. Y'all ain't even seen this, so they've been trying to keep it low. All that stuff they had them burning was chemical stuff that came back and backfired on those people. Most of these folks don't know about it. They've been keeping it quiet. They had them burning. Wouldn't tell them. Just tell them to burn it. And them folks were telling them stuff smelled funny, and the whole time they were poisoning their own people. They trying to make them think it's in your head. Everybody come tell them come to the government and tell them something wrong. Oh, it's all in your head. There's other people over there, they're not complaining about it. How could they complain? They was inside. They were the people giving the orders.
Right.
Go show me a general suing the United States government because a chemical, biological weapon used on him. That fat lazy bastard ain't been in no field.
That's right.
He'll ride up for some kind of little shot from little picture prompts. They ain't suffering nothing. Ain't none of them colonels suffering nothing. Come out there for photo ops and then they back in their air conditioning.
Yep.
Them guys not suffering nothing. I'm joking, not riding around no Humvee, no winters and no heat. Them guys got security around them the whole time. The area
right.
clear before they get there.
That's right.
How many generals we lost here? You remember general we had killed over in Iraq? How many of you remember got killed over there? How you gonna hit that bastard on a plane somewhere here? He 900-something thousand miles away from the war. Yeah, them boys don't play no stuff like that. Putin only one stupid enough to let a general go in there and fight it, which they should. That way you gonna command me, you ought to be out there with them.
That's right. That's right.
That's one thing. You ought that way you'll see. Now we need to get the hell out of here.
That's right. That's right.
Tell them boy, I ain't trying to get killed. We finna go.
That's right.
I thought, man, we ain't figure out this shit. We finna stay right here. It's either go tell somebody to go somewhere and you're gonna get all the accolade for it, and folks dying behind your stupid orders. You making judgment off a piece of paper and a map. You ain't on no ground. Come on.
And the baraka of Yahuwah was upon all that he had in the Beth and in the field.
Don't y'all know y'all captain already knew this?
Yes, sir.
This man didn't walk into Mizraim freely. The man was sold into Mizraim, slavery. And now he's put this man out. Look what happened. And everything in his house multiplied because he was there. Listen.
And he left all that he had in Joseph's hand.
See, into a monkey, into a coon and a jigaboo's hand. No good way you couldn't actually see me like that. You left everything you got in my hand.
That's right.
Listen.
And he knew not aught he had, save the lacam which he did eat. And Joseph was a two-person and well-favored.
See, that I told you we were handsome. I always trying to tell you we ugly. Of course be ugly in your eye, because you ugly to me too.
That's right.
We're different cultures, so you're going to see something different about me, especially when you don't like the truth anyway. Man, I told you, I don't know why these folks come out, these ugly folks run out and say, you better stop it. That man couldn't tell that man is exceeding beautiful encounter. Kind of man, good looking, we excel just good looking. Isn't that right? But they're just showing you these folks realize that. That's why they took us and let us work in their house. Because they understood it was going to be a benefactor to them. Come on.
And it came to pass after these things that his Adons, Ashah, cast her upon Joseph, and she said, lie with me.
See what happened? And we ain't never heard this happen before. This got a lot of niggas killed right here.
Right, yes, sir.
Master White, see old Mendingo around there sweating around the house.
Yep.
Joker drop down, do 1,500 Herschel Watcher pick up,
That's
push
right.
up, get up all rocked up and swole.
That's right.
He said, ah, you look good. Your hands soft, ain't like no slave. He wanted to talk like Jingling. Listen.
But he refused and said unto his Adons, Ashah, behold, my Adon wotteth not what is with me in the Beth, and he hath committed all that he hath to my hand.
See, he said, everything belonged to him, he put it in my hand. See, a lot of us kept that integrity. And you know how many slaves kept that same integrity?
Yes,
they
sir.
were forced into it.
That's right.
Because either way it goes, she said, I'm going to tell.
Yep.
You worry about getting caught. If you don't do it, I'm going to tell. So
Yep.
where you stuck at?
That's right.
Got to go ahead and do it. Listen.
There is none greater in this Beth than I.
See that?
Neither hath he kept back anything from me but thee, because thou art his Ashah. How then can I do this great wickedness in Kata against Elohim?
Y'all hear what he told you? Yahuwah committed not Yahuwah, the Pharaoh, the keeper of the house, this was a Pharaoh here. He put everything under his hand. Anything he wanted, he could have. The only thing he kept back from him was her.
That's right.
Listen.
And it came to pass, as she spake to Joseph, yom by yom, that he shama not unto her to lie by her.
So how was he listening to her? He was not paying her no attention. I ain't listening to her to do nothing she telling me to do. She could talk day by day. He listened. I wasn't listening to her to do what she say do. Now if you talking about doing that, I'm not listening.
That's right.
Considering what he gave me. Listen.
Or to be with her. And it came to pass about this time that Joseph went unto the Beth to do his business, and there was none of the Anashim of the Beth there within.
I want him to use the bathroom. That was how our business. He went how to do his business. No, come on.
And she caught him by his
Look here,
garment.
hoe. I'm trying to do my business. And make sure Yahushua let him know, too, it was high time here to be about his Abba business.
That's right. That's right.
Listen.
And she caught him by his garment, saying, Lie with me. And he left his garment in her hand and fled and got him out.
And went forth. Listen.
And it came to pass, when she saw that he had left his garment in her hand and was fled forth, that she called unto the Anashim of her Beth, and spake unto them, saying, See, he hath brought in an Abari unto us to mock us. He came in unto me to lie with me, and I sighed with a loud call.
Y'all hear what it is? She said she cried out the first time with a loud call. Listen.
And it came to pass, when he shama, that I lifted up my call and sighed, that he left his garment with me and fled and got him out.
You see that? That's important for us to realize because of why?
That's the Torah.
That's what Yahushua did. When he was on the tomb, they told you he cried out again with a loud voice, and he gave up the Ruach. When he left the body, he left it. The Ruach departed, and he left it. He left his garments down, which would have been his skins. That was important because that's how we knew how he was going to leave. Y'all got it? That's how we knew he departed, he left, because he fought the same attribute. Listen, 17.
And
Forget
she
I
spake
conclude.
unto him according to these Dabarim, saying,
Hold on, 17. Listen.
The Abari Abad, which thou hast brought unto us, came in unto me to mock me.
And did what?
And it came to pass, as I lifted up my call and sighed, that he left his garment with me and fled out.
Okay.
And it came to pass, when his Adon Shama the Dabarim of his Ashah, which he spake unto him, saying, After this manner did thy Abad to me, that his wrath was kindled.
Mm-hmm.
And Joseph Adon took him and put him into the prison, a Malchum, where the Malak prisoners were bound, and he was there in the prison.
So that's important. So guess what we looked at? When they took him, he was led like a sheep to a slaughter.
Right.
And like a lamb dumb before his shear, you can believe it.
They
Did
know.
y'all hear his side?
No, no,
He
sir.
never opened his mouth. You can't imagine what happened later. In his humiliation. Because he was butt naked. How you trying to explain it, and you butt naked? My wife got your clothes. What do you have to say for yourself?
That's bad.
Nothing to say. Hey, wife got my clothes on butt naked. She said I did it. Wasting my time trying to tell you going to be useless, going to be
That's right.
senseless. So I'm just like a sheep led to the slaughter.
That's right.
I'm standing right here before you. She got my clothes. What I'm going to say?
Right.
I'm standing before the person that sheared me that took my clothes. I can't even say nothing. I'm gone. She got the clothes, and she telling the story. Y'all understand that?
Yes, sir.
Our judgment was taken away.
Yes, sir.
That's what we do. Come on, finish this Byron sheet 41, 50, what? 53, 54?
Yes, sir.
Are y'all learning anything?
Yes, sir.
It's two. That's our goal. We about finished. Listen. We're at 54? Oh, we're at 55.
54.
All right, 54. All right, listen.
And the 7 Shana of dirt began to come, according as Joseph had said. and the dirt was in all Arat, but in all the Arats of Mizraim there was Lakam.
So what happened?
And when all the Arats of Mizraim was famished, the Sayak to Pharaoh for Lakam, and Pharaoh said unto all the Mizraim,
I couldn't imagine.
go unto Joseph.
You sound glad y'all came. I ain't seen y'all niggas so long, man. I thought y'all was dead. Boy, it's good to see a nigga doing good. Look at yourself. Colored man doing good. That's what he did when he saw him. And what happened?
Go unto Joseph.
For what?
What he said to you, do.
Whatever he tell you to do that. He never took away his rule.
That's right.
He came in and made sure he kept it in power that everybody understood. It didn't matter what the situation changed like people do. I know folks say that. I just call on the Father. You shouldn't. Because he already established somebody to sit in the stead. Come on. That's right. That person that sit in the stead didn't change. That's right. Over a period, they look at it, been a period of time. We had to 7 good years. I've been able to do it when time get hard. Sometimes you got to go right to the man. I ain't got time to deal with no middleman. But he said, I never took him away. That's right. So we will understand the only way you can get to the Abba was that you had to come through by the door. That's right. Then Yahushua told you, I am the door. You can't even get to him except by me. Yes, see that? It made sense. So we will understand that an interest had to be set there. Then Yahushua had let us know, I'm the interest, I'm the dog. If he's sitting inside the throne, how can you get to him except you come in through the dog? I'm the dog. Short for the dollar. So now we understood how important it was to come in through the entrance. So if you didn't come in through that way, thief and a robber. There's no any other way to live is a violation. Y'all got it's not acceptable. Y'all got what I'm saying? Now we start looking at something that's not acceptable. It's not how we say amiss. It ain't quite right. It's inappropriate. You see what I'm saying? Now the folk that went, look, these people had not because they did what? And now they done asked, how did they do it? They just did it what? Wrong, inappropriate, not quite right. Because Pharaoh it was a decision made, but I put everything in his hands. So now we understand amiss. I don't know, y'all look kind of strange over here. I mean, our goal is to make sure we can understand. Give me that 517 if I let y'all go. I don't know, y'all might look like y'all ain't quite got it. I want to make sure we got a full view spectrum of how this thing works. And when we do, people can't take that away from you. That you understand how this process actually works. So now we see the importance and the value of where we start in the 15th chapter of the book of Romans, that whatever was written aforetime was written, that just helps us understood it. We just learned something. To show, to teach, to instruct, right? Now we can have endurance. We can go through without quitting. Y'all got it? We don't try to make our own way like they did. They try to make their own way to Pharaoh. That's not the way it's established. He's only going to establish the way that he's only going to recognize the way he established. And this, we'll tend to do this in people. When times get tight, stuff get hard, we always look at the quickest way to get relief. But it's not always the appropriate way. It's not always, it ain't quite right when you do it that way, which means it's not acceptable. Like when he told about presenting about a Kai sacrifice, learning how to set it up for the slaughter while it's living. Like Yahushua, that's what he did. He presented him by the living sacrifice. Because you got to remember, when you bring it to the Kohan, he the one got to kill it. You can't kill it and cut up and bring it to him. It got to come to him living. And it's got to be Kodash. And that's why he told you, ask him concerning the Torah. Who's going to know better than him? Right? To know what Elohim, that's why he had it, because he's supposed to know what does Elohim accept. Isn't that right? And what he's asking you to do is not unreasonable. That's right, it's not unreasonable. Right? So that's where we're really trying to make sure we obtain, or apprehend, take into custody. You know what I'm saying? Because we've been without that information. We've been without that understanding. And that's been that stigma that's been holding us back. Like a lot of us will kind of gas ourselves to say, I'm ready to go all the way, but then you start to consider, this could cause some problems. You might not think you say it, but you do, because you draw back. You draw back, or you start considering. This could ruffle some feathers. This could change some connections. This could put you out in a sense from some things, but we can't. When you're talking about being saved, he moves us kind of like I guess in graphs, or moves us in time slots. And as you continue to move, you'll see it's things you'll break away from, and you'll see it's needful. I'm being honest with y'all. It's needful. It does. I mean, originally it made sense when we went into the Arats, the land, to keep other people there for other big, because we needed people to be tributary to do some of the work. See, it didn't make sense to bring us into a land and we're going to start doing all this toiling. That don't make sense. So when I put people, you say, well, why you didn't drive these people out? Well, think about it. You want to do all this digging? You want to do all that planting and pulling? Then put them to work, because I'm giving you liberty. You came out from this. So if you bring me right out from slavery into slavery, say you're a slave, you just your own slave. I wasn't trying to do that. You just calling a different name now. I wasn't trying to come out of slavery into slave. That's why a lot of people turn back. It didn't make sense. So he got people, he said, put them to tributary, let them do the work. But then I want you to know how to oversee people and take care of people. And you know he always told you, don't forget, you was a slave in the house in the Beth of Mizraim now. Make sure you be careful now the work you put on these people, because you will say, always go back to remembering that. Don't forget now. Lest you forget that you in Mizraim, how you supposed to treat a person. And now we came in strangers and they turned on us. He said, so you supposed to know how to treat people, right? Okay. He told you beware how you entertain strangers. Why? Well, same thing when he's sitting there, all they hear messages. Just like Yahushua, isn't that right? He was a stranger in the land of Mizraim. Be careful how you treat them. Isn't that right? They weren't even knowledgeable until they seen. That man would have been a beneficiary to us. All right, let me get this out y'all way. 517, Yeukanon. This is the Latin. This is America. Listen.
But Yahushua answered them, my Abba worketh hitherto, and I work.
See that? So Pharaoh was still in session and sitting, and he told you Anna and Yahushua were working.
That's right. That's right.
Y'all got it? Pharaoh took him and gave him a daughter. He looked at him just like being a son. He let him set to hold a seat to be an inheritor and a ruler, just like a son, like a father with a son. Listen.
Therefore the Yahudim sought the more to kill him.
Tell him why.
Because he not only had broken the Shabbat,
but did what?
Said also that Elohim was his Abba.
Doing what?
Making himself equal with Elohim.
And what did we say equal was? Somebody said exact. Right. Having the same status and rights. So what you were going to go and ask Yahuwah for, he said, I can do that. I can do that. Let's see what he did.
Then answered Yahushua and said unto them, Aman, Aman, I say unto you.
Of a truth I say unto you.
The Ben can do nothing of himself.
Listen to what he said.
But what he seeth the Abba do.
What happened?
For what things soever he doeth.
Pay attention.
These also doeth the Ben likewise.
This one, I'm missing some of this. It just stopped him, soever he doth. These, the Ben, also doth in like
manner.
Gonna make sense. I'm gonna do it after the resemblance of.
That's right.
Same thing we saw Adam. Everything Adam did in the gun, we learned later, and that's how important it is. I don't know how nobody can say you proficient with one without the other. Both of them give us an understanding. So it doesn't literally tell us that Adam sat down and watched Yahuwah, but the fact that we learned later that Adam was the Ben, which was the son of Elohim. Okay? So in knowing that, we understand from what he just told us that the only thing that the son could do is what he saw the father do. So how would Adam know how to name every creature?
That's what I would do.
Because I saw you do this. Y'all see that? It makes sense now, because otherwise we're saying that Adam just jumped up and just started operating off of just knowledge that just popped up out the ground. Don't make sense. He would have operated based off of what he was shown. We know he was taught and shown because he took him and showed him and said, every ox of the gun you may freely eat. But this one, I want to make sure that you know this.
Right.
I want you to know about this tree. Why? Not just to eat it, because of what it does. When you eat this, you're going to move. You're going to die.
Right.
If you touch it, don't even touch it. He wanted to make sure he was familiar with, to make sure that we lessen every probability of there being failure.
Right.
But we also learn that each got to learn how to serve him with his inward parts. That's got to surpass your natural. Adam and them ate because they were hungry and because of the lust of the eye. When Yahushua sat down for 40 yamim and he was up on the mountain and he was a hunger, he wouldn't even eat. He even quoted that each unashamed ought to live by, don't live by lakam alone, but by every dabarim that proceeded from. That's how we know that he breathed in Adam's mouth, because of the word. When you talk, you're also releasing air, breath. You know you can get life with your breath. Person fall out, ain't breathing, what you do? You check them, heart not breathing. You clear, make sure the passage is nothing in the mouth. Then you eject it back, hold the nose, and you'll blow breath in their mouth. The same thing, get you can believe it. Here the 2 hour work, the Abba do the same thing. We do the same thing. We understand that that's actually life in your words. We didn't understand life in the word, but you think about when you're speaking. I want y'all to just say something to me. Put your hand by, probably about 4. I want you to stick it too close. There's some shit in your mouth. It bound back and kill you. Give yourself a little distance, just for life's sake. All right? Thank you.
Thank you.
On that you felt that air? How are you? Yahuwah. You see that? You hear that breath? It's breath. It's life in his words. Y'all hear that? It ain't just what you physically saying. His physical words do when we obey them, but also it's the fact that the spirit is entailed with it. The wind is also referred to as the spirit. It's a controlling factor you don't see, but you can see the attributes of how it moves. Just like if it was a bunch of papers will stack him and the wind or fan come, it'll come and it'll blow it. Do you see the wind? But you can see the operation of it. You can see the movement, you know what I'm saying? Or how, or what it can cause to stir up a move, or whether it's dirt, or whatever hard wind comes, you can see it blow and it'll start to spin and turn. That's not the wind, that's the attribute of it. So you can see it through how it works. That's the same thing with Elohim. We see Elohim through his works. You cannot physically see the wind. You can see it, you can get an idea more of how it's kind of predicated or move if you see the objects that it pick up and move. You got it. The same thing when the people recognize on the Yuma, Ukak Shabur, they're called Pentecost. When the people were sat down, they saw the attributes of the Ruach. They can tell from the behavior of the Ruach how it moved on them. It was like the people were burning. It was like fire how it sat on them. And how they began to speak. It was like a split. You know what I'm saying? How things happen. And the other people that watched, after they sat down and considered, you know what they said? The wonderful works of Elohim. And they only saw it through the people that said. They didn't see Elohim construct their rocks. They didn't see him cause the land to come up out of the Ma'im, the water. They saw the behavior of the people and the communication, and they recognized this is the work of the Ruach. This is the attribute. This is what's entailed through the operation of it. That's the same thing supposed to happen with us. Make sense? Yes, sir. People trying to see him, pay attention to what he does or how things move because of. Let me see. Come on. Next verse. Listen.
For the Abba, Ahab the Ben, and
do
sheweth
what?
him all things that himself doeth.
Uh-oh. This is what he do.
And he will shew him greater works than these.
For what reason?
That ye may marvel.
That you may wonder. That you will sit around and you'll start to consider. Just like with Yahushua. What you think those people were thinking about him? They were sitting and they was just wondering. He must really have a lot of love and affection for this guy to let him do this. That he put him over everything that he rules over. That he's designated that everything has to go through by him. That's what the people sitting there wondering. That this man who popped up on the scene now rules over us. And this man knows whatever he does. This man's decision making that he does is what he got from him. So this left the people sitting around considering, who is this man? How great this man is, that everything he says, people have to do that's under his authority. I guess we should have been told that whatever Yahushua say, do. His aim told us that when he went to the wedding. And you know what people got twisted up on? The wine. And that all he would tell us to do? She said, whatever he say do, do it. I don't know why people cut off at just at the wine. Let's see if that's what she said. What's that, the 3rd chapter, 8th chapter? Third chapter? No, it can't be the 3rd. He went to wedding, the 5th chapter, 5:1, wedding in Canaan. Hold on for a minute.
2.
That man said 3rd. You got the book and you called the wrong thing. I know what my problem is. I done got old. 2 and 1.
No, that's not right.
You Ukanai. That's tight, Chris. You got the book over there. You saying that's not right. Who you arguing with? All right. Listen.
And the Shalishiyum, there was a marriage
Second day.
in Cana of
Shalishi,
Galilee.
for those that looking for second, that's Shalishi. I'm sorry, Shani. Shani is 2. Second, Shani. Oh, you said, I'm sorry, 3rd, Shalishi.
Yes, sir.
I thought you were saying the second. Yeah, Shalishi is 3. Go ahead.
There was a marriage in Cana of Galilee, and the aim of Yahushua was there. And both Yahushua was Yahshua and his Talmudim to the marriage. And when they wanted wine, the aim of Yahushua saith unto him, they have no wine.
Uh-oh, y'all hear that? Tell them what happened.
Yahushua saith unto her, Ashah, what have I to do with thee? Mine hour is not yet come.
They want to know, what does that to mean?
His
No,
aim saith unto the Abadim, whatsoever he saith unto you, do it.
To the waiters, whatever he shall say to you,
Do it.
we just stopped at the wedding. Now, we supposed to be waiters too, servant. You ain't gonna believe it. That's the same thing Pharaoh told the people. Whatever he say to you to do, do it. That's the same thing Pharaoh. Pharaoh was his father. Now you got it from his mother too. That's 2 witnesses. That 2 witnesses tell you to do whatever he told you. The Abba told you and the aim told you. Whatever he tell you to do it. Y'all got it? So now, how are we supposed to listen? That make a difference. If I know whatever he say do it, that means my listening skill change. Well, I got to do what people say. I got to home in on. Whatever he say do. So now when I hear him talking or I hear a message that come from him, what I'm supposed to do? Listen, make sure I'm going to do it. Y'all got it? That way he told you who was his aim, who was his Abba, when he said Abba, his Akim, his mother, his brothers, and his Akuth, his sister. But them that, no, you got to hear it. See that? Now he would look at the same thing, that's the same thing Pharaoh going to look at. You know who he going to look at, who his subject is going to be? Who is Abba? Those that hear and do. I know I heard it. That's tight. I know I heard it, though. Anybody going to tell me what I heard now? I ain't crazy. I know what I heard. Isn't that right? But did you hear what the intent? And it's important to home in on that. Listening with the intent to do. Not, well, I'm going to pray about it and think on it a while to do it. That's, you're not trying to be an Aberdeen. And let me say this. It's not irrational to think before you act upon. It's not. We're not creatures prone like that. We walk more into doing when we got better understanding. Just to hear something, just jump and do it don't make sense. Process it. But don't use that for a reason to procrastinate. If it's something I hear that I don't understand, it doesn't make sense. I'm just going to jump and do it. Then I just get to understand later. That doesn't make sense. Then I'm going to soon fall away from it. So we get it. We do have to process it. But when we process it, we'll make sure we don't let processing become procrastination. That's what a lot of people are doing. I'm still processing. He told me to put it, and I understand to put it away, but I'm just still trying to process it. You know what I'm saying? Like preacher said, you're supposed to process it and keep doing it. I understand I'm supposed to get rid of it. Right. Things I'm going to process are going to be things I don't know, right. Things I'm not really sure on how it actually or what it's saying. I'm not going to process nothing that I know what it says don't do. So I'll make sure we don't use that for no, hesitation. All right, we'll go back up to what we have. I know Josh want to read that 6th verse. Man, it has 6 pots of wine. Shut up into the kill. 5. What we left off by 20?
Yes, sir. We starting at 21.
All right, start at 21. All right, listen.
For as the Abba coom the moot, and quickeneth them, even so the Ben quickeneth whom he will.
So when we saw that, you hear that? Or what about when Adam did it? He
Adam.
says the Abba did it. He said, as the Abba raised up the moot. Because Adam was moot before he
That's
had
right.
life.
That's right.
When he formed him, remember, he made him first, he was dead.
That's right.
He had to breathe until he gave him the Ruach. That's how he took on Kai. So that's why he letting you know. So he gave us a process that we know he combed up the moot. All right, so I'm going to go back to where it starts at. He created a man that was dead and gave him life. So he raised up the dead, right, from the Adumah, from the ground. All right, and give it life. And he let you know the Ben also give it Kai to whom he will.
That's right.
Let's see.
For the Abba Shaphat no ish, but hath committed all mashpah unto the Ben.
For neither doth the Father, the Abba, judge any ish, but had given all mashpat to
The Ben.
the Ben. That's what he let do the judging. Y'all know that?
Yes, sir.
That's let me see something. That's tight. Y'all gotta see how that work. Hello? Y'all got it already? We just keep moving. All right. See that the Shemuel the 15th chapter, 2nd, Beth Shemuel 15. What'd you say? Yeah. You were going somewhere else in your mind.
No, never mind.
Let's say that 15, I don't know, probably about 11. Let's say that what I want. Hold on, what you drop down to 21? Let me see that. No, 15. 15. Nah, this is Beth, right? Yeah, this is Beth second. What's the last verse here?
37.
30 what?
7.
No, that's not what I want. 14. After, carry it back. Should have been a young man cursed him. 15, into the 15th chapter. What verse am I looking at? When in the 15th chapter, Beth Shemuel? 17. Okay, 17. So, appreciate it. They call it 2 Peter. I'm sorry, 2nd. They'll call it 2 Samuel. Beth, Olive? It can't be Olive. It's got to be Beth. It can't be Olive. If it's Olive 17, they're going to take you over when they made him, when he got ready to fight Goliath. Mm-hmm. It's got to be Beth. That's what I want, 43. Hold on, no, you went first. 16? 16? 16:9? All right. Let's see what happened. Listen, what's how that work out? How about that?
Then said Abishi, the Ben of Zeruah, unto the Malak, why should this moot dog curse all my done the Malak?
So we'll go up to 7. That's right. That's 6. Listen to this.
And he cast a bond at Daud and at all the Abadim of Malach Daud, and all the arm and all the mighty Anashim were on his right hand and on his left. And thus said Shimei, when he come out, thou bloody Ish, and thou Ish of Balaam.
They call him a man of sin. But both of them call it Balaam. Go ahead.
Yahuwah hath returned upon thee all the dam of the Beth of Shaul, in whose stead thou hast reigned. And Yahuwah had delivered the Malkuth into the hand of Absalom thy Ben, and behold, thou art taken in thy mischief, because thou art a bloody man. Then said Abishai, the Ben of Zeruiah, unto the Malach, why should this moot dog Ma'adan the Malach? Let me go over, I ask thee.
Let me say that. See, this is how you know people don't know what they're talking about. This dead dog, look what he say dead. Curse my Adon, the Malach. When did he use MF? When did you? Hell no, you didn't. Because curse means to pronounce something on. This is how white folk mess you up. They got you running around saying, ra'ah cursing. If I'm cursing, I'm pronouncing stuff on people. Okay? So the first thing is they teach you a connotation that you don't know what you're talking about. White people conveniently give you stuff and mean stuff you have no idea. When did he use MF?
Didn't do it.
He didn't. He just told him what happened, didn't he? That Yahuwah bring all the dam, the blood, back on you and on your bed. And that your son reign in your stead instead of you. And Abishai looked and said, why should this man curse the Malach? That's what cursing is. These folks don't know what they be talking about. I don't pay these people no attention. Too stupid to know what they're talking about. I'm talking about it's vulgar. That case you shouldn't have the Latin because it's called the Vulgate. Vulgar.
Right.
That's what it's called. The Latin Vulgate is vulgar. These folks, listen, white folks will tell you stuff and scare you off and run you off and make you hate me, and they do it the whole time. They'll get on TV, wear a suit and tie and shave and make an asshole out you. But they so professional. They liars and cons and crooks. I need to see the naked truth off the rip so I know what you stand for and what you believe.
That's right.
The man just said, all of them agree, curse, curse, curse. And you ain't hear none of the word, oh man, he was cursing then. See, the Bible, the Lord just didn't want to put MF in there. Because you stupid. Let's look at what curse means. Because people don't know. They ain't going to give y'all all the mother word now. And I had to give him because someone. Cam said he had a time with some traffic, had him held up over there. And then my pastor over here, he said, what he say? He said, man, I am frustrated, upset, missing deadline, nothing wasn't working. Yes, you did, curse. You cursed COVID on yourself. Listen, a solemn utterance intended to invoke a supernatural power to inflict harm or punishment on someone or something. Vulgarity, saying M-alpha and go to hell and the B word. That's how dumb we are. The folks just take us and make a fool out of us all the time. That's what he was looking at. Who he said we're going to do it? Supernatural, beyond our ability. Natural is what? Naturally is to be expected. So it's inside of a certain realm we deal. When it's outside of what we know, the norms of the realm, we say, you know what? That's something that's superior. That's when something is superior, it's over. Y'all got it? So that's why he can say, by my hand, by my mind, because you're not cursing. He's asking for, that's amazing. Hypothetically, I take some of your hair, cut it, and put it in the bag and bury it, and then you turn around and you can't remember, start going, you know what they're going to say? I don't put a curse on it. Because I'm dabbing into other elements and spirits that work. To put somebody, they're going to call, put a curse, so I put an MF on it? You see, I just try to get you, these people really don't know what they're doing. The white people gave us this stuff to make us invoke fear on us to make us so passive that we won't even break away from our captivity. Man, you know that tell you when a man, you think in the same time, they ain't gonna give a nigga a gun. Here y'all go, y'all in the field, cause snakes and stuff down here. I want you to take this shotgun. What y'all gonna do with this stuff you get it? He's trained and disciplined us enough, you say, give you the butt on, repeat, the trigger you pull, and as soon as you let it go and shoot 2 times, he know a nigga ain't gonna do nothing. You don't T-pull, you a Christian. He already know it. Look at stuff, the evil eye. Where that cuss word at? Where that's at? All right, come on. Voodoo. Hoodoo. You did it. That's who did it. All right, verse 9. Listen.
Then said Abishai, the ben of Zeruiah, unto the Malach, why should this moot dog all ma done the Malach? Let me go over, I ask thee, and take off his head.
How right? You hear what he said? He said, why does this? Why does this?
Head dog.
Why does this?
Head dog.
Do what?
Curse.
Let me ask you a question. How could a dead dog be cursing?
Right, kill him. Kill him.
And what did he just do? I just declared the end at the beginning. His ass dead.
Yeah.
Listen, he declared the end at the beginning. He called him a dead dog. You dead. And he let you know why he was dead. Because he done cursed him a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm letting you know how. I'm going to take his head off.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he let you know a dead dog. If you just think about it, that don't make sense that a dog dead can be pronouncing a curse or using what they would call profanity or vulgarity. It only made sense because he declared the end at the beginning. I'm going to cut his damn head off. Why? Because he done cursed him a lot. All right, let's see. And then I told you how death was going to come, didn't I? Listen.
And the Malach said, what have I to do with you, ye Beni of Zeruiah?
Stop. Yeah, we're in another book. Yeah. Still 16, right?
Yes, sir. Verse 10.
Verse 10, the 16th chapter. That's what I'm talking about. The jump. You in first Malachim. You're going to be in Besham. Okay, good deal. 16, 10. Good deal. Listen.
And the Malach said, what have I to do with you, ye Beni of Zeruiah? So let him all because Yahuwah has said unto him, all Daud, who shall then say, wherefore hast thou done so?
See, that's an understanding he had. You know, as he understood too. He listened to what the man said. You know, believe it or not, Daud knew the man wasn't far off on what he said. He know, because what he was saying, I done it. He told him he was a bloody man. We knew that because he came back and Elohim told him he couldn't build his bed either. He said because his hands were full of blood. He told him that's why he couldn't build it. So some of it wasn't far-fetched for him. And he realized this is where we got to come into the knowledge of. The fact that he realized, let him alone. Yahuwah has had him to do this. You know how many times we'll fight against, including me, starting me. We fight against a lot of things without recognizing who allowed this to happen. And he wanted him to stay out the matter. Because you're going to put yourself in the matter. I don't recognize when some of Yahuwah. See, you know how smart and wise you got to be that you recognize. That other man, like I said, killing people ain't no thing for him. He killed a man for his own wife. He recognized that man brought this stuff back up. I'm guilty on some of this. And I realized Yahuwah done set that man to do this. To let me know. Plus, at the time, his son Absalom, the father of peace, was actually seeking to kill him. And he realized that now my own son is trying to kill me. I done killed another man for his wife. Me and Shaul done got into a situation. I have put myself in a mess. And this could no doubt be Yahuwah is returning all this stuff on me because my hands are defiled with blood. And now when somebody wanted to intervene, said, he a dead dog. I'm killing him. I'm cutting his head off. Don't get involved. You don't have nothing to do with this. Yahuwah done allowed this to happen. Let's see. Go ahead.
And Daud said to Abishai and to all his Abadim,
Do what?
behold my ben, which came forth of my bowels,
Do what?
seeketh my Cain.
So what happened?
How much more now may this Benjamin do it, let him alone.
Why?
And let him all are. For Yahuwah hath bidden him.
So he said, Yahuwah done told him. He said, you ain't going to believe it. He said, man, my own son that came from my bowels, he's trying to kill me. You ain't going to believe it. Hold what you got right quick about it. See if that Yeshayahu 96. There's a conclusion to the matter. Yeshayahu, they call Isaiah 96. They call it Isaiah. Listen.
For unto us a Yahweh is born.
Y'all paying attention to that? Unto us a who?
Yahweh is born.
A child is born.
Unto us a being is given.
And tell me about happened.
And the government shall be
Whose
upon his
government
shoulder.
is going to be upon our shoulder.
And his shem shall be Kara, wonderful.
It said messenger of great counsel.
Counselor, the mighty Elohim, the everlasting Abba, the
Hold on,
Shah.
hold on. Stop. Read differently. Show the name called messenger of great counsel. For I will bring shalom upon the Shareems. That's different than how these read. Y'all see that?
Yes, sir.
That's a difference. They just keep going, telling you all he's going to be his name. That's not what he said. He was going to be the messenger of great counsel. Y'all got it?
Yes, sir.
For I will bring shalom upon the Shareems and health to him. So his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty Elohim, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. That's not what he said. Wonderful Counselor, God the Mighty, the Father of, stroll me up a little bit. See what the Latin recorded. The Father of the world to come. The Shah of Shalom. He didn't say that over him. Do me a favor. Pull up Beth HaMashiach. As a matter of fact, just do just straight Septuagint, can't you? What you suggest? Septuagint? Okay, let's do that. He'll pull up a script so we see. And see how it pointed to you, these different scripts. Because you can see we've been looking at something. Now we're going to show you where it's going to show you where he was called the Father. You got it? The Son was the Father. But then you're going to hear you look. That's not there. That's important. Because that changed the whole dynamic of things. But don't throw me off. I still working. Like I said, hitherto, he working up to now, and I work too. So we're still going to work it. It's just, this is detrimental if he ain't make the statement. So we can look at everybody. Around call Counselor, Mighty God, Strong God, Father forever, Prince of Peace. Bible in basic English. American Standard is what they'll tell you is the more accurate. The name should be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. King James, of course, I already know what you say. You always tell lies. The realm Counselor, Mighty Father, Father of the world to come. Prince of Mighty. Everlasting, evil Counselor, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace, John, Wonderful, Mighty, Father of eternity. That'll still be of the world to come. Prince of Peace is what everybody records him. Let me see what Septuagint just say. That's the butt-naked Septuagint. Take the clothes off of it like Yahushua. Might be a bomb. Daud got naked, so it's okay. Lee told him clear, this is something you can ride to, but keep your clothes on now. This ain't no bring your own bottle. That man, bring your own bottle, we gonna be getting drunk, toe up to the floor. So in the Septuagint, and his name should be called Messenger of Great Counsel, Wonderful Counselor, Mighty Elohim, it does not say that though. Potent, Prince of Shalom, Father of the ages to come, for I will bring Shalom upon the Shireen. Okay? So here in the Septuagint, this reads different than what we just read in a sense. Because they did put the Mighty Elohim here. Y'all see that? Messenger of great counsel, which is the same they put. The wonderful counselor, Mighty Elohim, is not in the other one we read about. They didn't put that at all. Or the Father of the ages to come. Can we look at that Beth Mashiach? I just want to see what he got at the bottom of that one. Beth Mashiach is a script that we've used too, or we use periodically. It's just important to check everybody. I think every one of these religious coaches ought to look at it. It's your soul. You want to make sure what you're believing right, correct?
That's right.
Eternal Father, Prince of Peace, name because the Greek for a child given. Let me scroll up a little bit, please. His name, Great Counselor, Messenger. For I shall bring Shalom upon the rulers and his health. See, this reads just like what we just read, but the Septuagint we read don't tell us about bringing no health. It's all in the translated part. The other part that's not. From the actual word. That's based out of the translators. He recorded probably the same week, guy, because he put in for I shall bring Shalom upon the Shireen, which are the rulers. Okay. And it's health. Okay. Health makes sense. What you looking at now? Bible Hub. Okay. For those at home, he's showing me the words that stay consistent. This is what Dexter read, Bible Hub. And what you be reading, Dexter? What you be reading? You don't be with us, you be all over the place. What you scared of? What you read? You can't be reading, we be reading, you be somewhere else. What verse you be on? You be looking stuff up. The Bible Hub, you go to Bible Hub. So what you use? That tight. And will be called his shoulders. Government, okay. It will be called his shoulder upon the government. I will be. Hold on, I'm going to read back. I'm sorry. For a child is born unto us and is given unto us, and will be the government upon his shoulder here. Because we read right to left, so they'll try to write. They should flip the damn thing right. I don't know what they're doing anyway. It's English. It don't even make sense. It's all right. English is a different way. It's still English. Trying to act like they trying to get close. That's how they get you every time. Now, his name. Now, his should have been over here, their name. Damn, they so backward. You gotta read it. You gotta get a damn mirror to read it. His name, Wonderful Counselor, Almighty Father, Everlasting Shireen. That's different.
So these are just the main words that stay consistent.
Wonderful.
Pele, for wonderful, Yoes, counselor, and then the Gabar, mighty, and then it says Saul, which is the ruler of Shalom. So those are the 4 words that stay consistent. As far
The
as
translators all got different opinions on the other part.
on how he said.
How he said it. Shalom is down. I see the Abba. Abi. Shah. Pele for wonderful. Okay. That's crazy. These folks can't translate nothing right. Everybody right. That again just show you that's what we had to deal with. Y'all see that? So you're dealing with all these different translators come back trying to pick up and decide on what they saying they feel like he meant from what they gather and how they feel like words are used. And again, it's dangerous for the fact that you really need to be real consistent, cultured with the people and how they use stuff. Because they'll assume when we use the word nigga, it's in a derogatory way. And you don't know unless you culture it real with us to know when we mean a nigga like, man, get out of here, nigga. You know what I'm saying? It says something funny, not, oh, he just insulted him. He just said he want to kill him. No, I didn't. Nigga, now you know. So you need to understand the culture to understand when it's being used and how it's being used. Nigga, you have me laughing. Man, he's gonna kill him. He said he make him laugh one more time, he gonna blow his brains out. See, the translator not familiar enough, and they start trying to translate it over to how they feel or what they think. You need to understand the culture and how things do, which means you gotta be very acquainted with the people. And these translators not, they not. Everybody just sit down and they all copy from somebody, and everybody pick up one or two things somebody did, and they just go and change the whole script. I know they have, because a lot of them don't know what they're doing. And now possible they do. You got an older Greek writing than what we use now. And they change a lot of things, just like when you take the modern, it changes. It's not the same as using the ancient. It's just not. Shalom. Yeah. What you doing? Look up. Pulling it, yeah. Okay. I was looking at that. But say he's gonna bring Shalom to his Shireen. Here it's saying the prince. It's saying plural in the other one. This is singular, prince of Shalom, versus him saying, I shall bring peace to the Shireen, to the princes. One said he's going to bring peace to the rulers. One is saying that he rules over peace, which will make sense that he will be the prince of Shalom, Abba, because we're looking at Absalom, because he would have been the father of peace. So that's why we pretty much had looked at it. Then, based off of him going and telling us, see this? Bring peace upon the Shareems, which is going to be plural. So this is a plural statement versus telling us he was the prince of peace. Father of the world to come, the prince of peace. Okay. Okay. All right, we can go back to what we read. Conclusion to the matter. There's so much work when you're doing this stuff. Oh, appreciate it. It's a lot. Okay. Oh, you talk about, see that my being who came forth out of my seek my same thing with us. Now how we find, let me see that. Hold you got, pick that up right quick. Sit at the 8th chapter of the book of Yehukanan, 8 and about 32, 35, 37, 40. 8 and 40. Yehukanan, they call John. That's a conclusion to the matter. Listen. Listen.
But now ye seek to kill me, and each that hath told you the amount, which I have Shammah of Elohim, this did not Abraham.
Listen.
Ye do the deeds of your Abba.
Yeah.
Then said they to him, we be not born of Zanuth.
What happened?
We have one Abba, even Elohim.
Listen.
Yahushua said unto them,
Hold on. They ain't got up that 42.
Yahushua said unto them,
What did he tell them?
if Elohim were your Abba,
What happened?
ye would ahab me.
Why?
For I proceeded forth and came from Elohim. Neither came I of myself,
But
he sent me.
I'm a shalach. Listen.
Why do ye not understand my speech? Even because ye cannot shama my dabar.
See that? You can't hear it with the intent to do it. Listen.
Ye are of your Abba, Satan, and the lust of your Abba ye will do. He was a murderer from Barashith, and abode not in the Amat.
Why?
because there is no Ahmad in him. When he speaketh a kazab, he speaketh of his own, for he is a kazab and the Abba of it.
I can't see the bottom of him. That's right. Y'all see that? That's why he let them know they couldn't accept. Yahushua can't speak in their mouth. And because those people stayed in lies and dwelt and made lies their refuge, it was hard for them to understand what he was telling them. And that's something we have to look at too. If we're going to get an understanding, the first thing you got to do is you got to be real with yourself, which most people aren't. You got to be real with yourself and be realistic looking at it. You got to get rid of the lies, because the lies are going to come in and they're going to kind of block out. They're going to kind of hinder the or from coming in. Y'all got it? That's why I told you, if our the bar be hid, is it hid to who? In whom? See that? Less. See that? The whole purpose of putting shade, and we learned about shade, don't we? When we talked about the it talks about shade. It's one of them too. Because you can also cut. If it's something I want to see you. And that's the same thing they do when they come to the truth. He told you if it be hid, it hid to them that are lost, and whom the Elohims of this Arat have blinded. So he keeps you from understanding. This is the physical, just the eye. I'm going to blind you from understanding. Because you are bold in so many lies, kazab, to where when the truth comes, it's hard for you to fathom and put it together. Okay? Come on. Come on. 45.
And because I tell you the Ahmad, ye amon me not.
See that? Listen.
Which of you convinces me of Kata? And if I say the Ahmad, why do ye not amon me?
Okay.
He that is of Elohim, Shama Elohim Dabarim. Ye therefore Shama them not.
Why?
Because ye are not of Elohim.
Come on.
Then answered the Yahudim and said unto him, say we not well that thou art a Samaritan and hast a
Shamram. So they don't have a Samaria. Well, Shamram would be the area they'll call Samaria that don't exist. Shamram, so I don't know how they would pronounce that, the citizen. Go ahead.
and hath a shadim.
Has a demon. Come on.
Yahushua answered, I have not a shadim, but I kabad my Abba, and you do dishonor me.
See that? Come on.
And I seek not mine own kabod. There is one that seeketh and shafet. Amun, I say unto you, if an ish keep my saying, he shall never see moot. Then said the Yahudim unto him, now we know that thou hast a shadim. Abraham is moot, and the Nabaim, and thou sayest, if a ish keepeth my saying, he shall never taste of moot. Art thou greater than our Abba, Abraham, which is moot, and the Nabaim are moot, whom makest thou thyself? Yahushua answered, if I kabad myself, my kabad is nothing. It is my Abba that honor kabad me, of whom ye say that he is your Elohim. Yet ye have not known him, but I know him. And if I should say I know him not, I shall be a kazab like unto you, but I know him and keep his saying. Your Abba, Abraham, rejoiced to see my Yum, and he saw it and was glad. Then said the Yahudim unto him, thou art not 50 Shana old, and hast thou seen Abraham? Yahushua said unto them, Amun, I say unto you, before Abraham was, I am.
Before he was made. Back me up about 30. What verse is that? 40, 37. Let's see 37. Let's see something. That's it. Listen.
I know that ye are Abraham's seed, but ye seek to kill me, because my Debar hath no Malchum in you.
And that's important for us. Why? Y'all remember? Daud told you his own son was trying to kill him. Yahushua was trying to tell his own children were killing him. That's who was seeking his life. Who y'all thought he was hiding from, trying to get away? Daud had to be on the hunt, had to be on the run from Absalom.
That's right.
Yahushua was on the run from us. He said, my own Benima trying to kill me. That's what he just told him. I know you Abraham's seed, but you seek to kill me. He was the one that came out from Abraham. All right? We'll come on back right quick. I'm going to finish up. Show y'all how they go right quick. Back at the 16th chapter. Where y'all left out? 12th, 13th verse? Beth Shemuel,
12.
verse 12.
Yes, sir.
All right, listen.
It may, it may be that Yahuwah will look on mine affliction, and that Yahuwah will requite me too for his cursing this young.
Y'all see what he looked at? Daud looked at that. That Yahuwah might come back, and he might see my affliction that I'm suffering, and he might requite me too for him cursing me this young. Let's see.
And as Daud and his Anashim went by the Darak, Shimei went along on the hard side over against him, and Al-Ah as he went, and threw a bun at him and cast dust.
See that? And throwing dust. We had throwing dirt.
And the Malak and all the armed that were with him came weary and refreshed themselves there. And Absalom and all the armed, the Anashim of Yasharal, came to Jerusalem, and Ahithophel with him.
That's good. That's good. 16, 19, coming to my mind. 19, 20. See if it's the 19th chapter of that same book. It should have came back to Daud. 19 or 20. See if it's, see what 14 say. Why am I thinking 19, 14? 19, 14, same book? No, it's the same book. I want to see something. 19, 20, 22. The last book is what, 22? Mm-hmm. 24 the last.
Mm-hmm.
He should have came back to apologize. 20 what? What I want, 22? Team 22. That's 19. 19 in what verse? I said 19. 19, 16. 32. I can't hear you speaking English. Stop speaking in Mexican. Say it louder.
19.
Mm-hmm.
Beth Shemuel, they call Samuel. 16, 13. Let me stop it. 19, 18. Come on. Don't worry about it. If Mexican get cut up. Come on. In Mexican 13. Come on. 19, 18. Listen.
And there went over a ferry boat to carry over the Malak's household and to do what he thought too. And Shemaiah, the ben of Gerah, fell down before the Malak.
Hold on, man. Got on this one. And Shemaiah, the ben. Oh my goodness. Woo. Okay, blind me out, boss. Who did that? Who about 18? They had 14. What happened? Okay, and Shemi, the ben of Gerah, fell on his face, piney before the Malak, and he went over Jordan, which means to defend. Listen.
And said unto the Malak, let not my Adon.
19, verse 19. Y'all at verse 15, 19. There you go. And said to
unto the Malak, let not my Adon impute iniquity unto me, neither do thou remember, Zakar, that which thy Abba did perversely, the yum that my Adon, the Malak, went out of Jerusalem, that the Malak should take it to Islam.
You know what I'm saying? Man, you know they are tripping, man. I've been up that night. I had been doing curls and some push-up, and some testosterone was going. You know what I'm saying? I was talking, man, I was tripping. I was high. I didn't even know how high I was. And he probably had like 15 gummies. He fell on their face and repent and let them know that, you know what I'm saying, that day I was tripping. You know I wasn't serious, right? You didn't take that stuff serious, did you? All right, what happened?
For thy Abad doth know that I have kata.
He know it?
Therefore, behold, I am come the first this yom of all the Beth of Joseph to go down to meet my Adon the Malach.
Listen.
But Abishai, the ben of Zeruiah, answered and said, Shall not Shemaiah be put to moot for this, because he cursed Yahuwah's Mashiach?
That's his Mashiach, is anointed.
And Daud said, What have I to do with you, ye bani of Zeruiah, that ye should this yom be adversaries unto me? Shall there any ish be put to moot this yom in Yasharal? For do not I know that I am this yom Malach over Yasharal?
You hear that? He just decreed nobody get killed that day in Yasharal. He said, and I already know what my position is. And nobody shouldn't die. Y'all hear that? Because the man done repented to do right. Olive Malaki 1. First King. Malakim 1:1. Oh, two. Hold on, see if it's 2. 2 and 1. All right, listen.
Now the Yamim of Daud drew nigh that he should move. And he charged Shalumah his ben, saying,
Who was Shalumah?
his ben,
Oh, his son. Oh, go ahead.
saying, I go the rock of all the Arise. Be thou strong, therefore, and shew thyself a ish,
Yeah.
and keep the charge of Yahuwah thy Elohim, to halak in his Darak, to keep his statutes, and his Amar, and his mashpats, and his testimonies, as it is katab in the Torah of Moshe, that thou mayest prosper in all that thou doest, and whithersoever thou turnest thyself.
Hold on for a minute. Basically, he told him here in the Greek, he told him he might understand. They put prosper him, but both ends told him that he might understand. Makes sense. We always look at the prospering part come, but we were able to reading and knowing here mashpat was in the law of Mushah, that we might understand what thou shalt do and all the things that I'll mar you. It makes sense. It's just going straight to prosper. And so you may prosper in all that thou doth. And well, you can use prosper, but basically looking at understanding. Want to be able to understand that thou may understand all thou doth, and whithersoever thou shalt turn thyself. So that made better sense. They just strictly went right into prospering. So when you hear prosper, you start looking at monetary, things happen, things come, which things are going to happen, but basically it only come in through understanding. So I think the understanding the part we have to key in versus the prosper. People always want prosper. I want to know how I can get my business. I want to know how, my kids can be successful. I want to know, that's going to come in with you doing what he's prescribed in the Kitab, in the writings. So I want to go with not using that prosper. We could be so kind that you might understand. And which makes sense because he told us in Jeremiah 3:16, I will give you ra'ah, shepherds after my own law, which shall feed you with prosperity.
Knowledge and
With
understanding.
knowledge. And, see, so the word is the knowledge. Now you just got to have the understanding of the word. So understanding is going to fit better than prosper. That makes sense, y'all?
Yes, sir.
That's the job of the. Moreover, because the kahalah was wise, he still taught the people knowledge. Yea, and he gave good heed. And he set in order many marshalim. That's what he did. I got to put a lot of these sayings in order because I know it don't make sense. You constantly throwing people into prosper, getting money, getting houses, getting cars, but do you have understanding? And in the book of Romans, the first chapter, when he started telling these are worthy of death, one of the key was without understanding. So he wanted him to make sure you understood what you were doing, because you're talking about his mashpah, his judgments, his precepts, okay? Because you were told precept was going to be upon precept. Line upon line, line upon line. He'll live, they'll live. Okay, come on. That makes sense. So
Yes,
please,
sir.
if you got prosper, put understanding. Thank you, gentlemen and ladies.
Yes,
Come
sir.
on.
That Yahuwah may continue his debar, which he spake concerning me, saying, if thy benim take heed to their derak,
See that? What happened?
to halak before me in a mock, with all their law and with all their nafash, there shall not fail thee, said he, a ish on the throne of Yasharal.
See that? As long as they are. So if somebody don't sit on the throne in the stead of Daud, what happened? What did Daud do? What did Daud do? Say it, I can't hear you. Y'all heard what he said? Tell him again. He left something for his men? He didn't what now? What happened?
He didn't walk before him in the mock with all his loudness.
Y'all hear what happened? So if that didn't if it failed us a man sitting on the throne, it's because Daud didn't do what?
No.
That's why I need y'all to pay attention to. It was nothing Daud did. He told you that he's going to confirm his word. The word can only be confirmed. I've done it because of what I've done. He gave me the oath. He gave me the berit. Now, it was to my benin. And if every one of them kept it, then it was going to be confirmation that he was going to allow him to sit. So we lost the man that sat on the throne of Daud. It wasn't anything Daud did. That means one of the benin fell off. And it makes sense that Daud should die for the kata of the ben. That's what the book said. The father should not be put to death because of the kata of the benin. Neither the benin should be put to death because of the kata of the Abba. He said, well, every each going to be put to moot for his own kata.
Yeah.
Because I'm bringing everybody back that you're going to be responsible for you. See, he said, there shall not fail thee a ish on the throne. And that's what we'll hear. He said, but he told you how you got to do. You're going to have to, you have to halak before me in a mock with all your law. That's why the people couldn't hear Yahushua when he was talking. He told them why, didn't he? He said, because you are Satan. And you'll do the lust and the desires of it. He was Qatar, and he the Abba of Qatar. So it's hard for you to understand what I'm trying to tell you. Y'all got it?
Yes, sir.
Listen.
Moreover, thou knowest also what Joab, the ben of Zeruiah, did to me, and what he did to the two captains of the Saboth of Yasharal, unto Abner the ben of Ner, and unto Amasa the ben of Yethar, whom he slew and shed the dam of war in Shalum.
See that? It was peace. And he started war. Daud got charged for that too, didn't he? We was in Shalom and he went and numbered the people. He said he slew them. See that? That's all right. And we did the same thing. Yahushua came down, he was peace. And we shed blood in the time of it. Listen.
And put the dam of war upon his girdle that was about his loins, and in his shoes that were on his regal.
See that? It fell on his feet. He took his sword from side to side, and he pretended when he came into him. And actually, he was concerned, was he in hell? And he stuck him through the fifth rib. And he fell on the ground, and he died and wallowed in his blood. Listen.
Do therefore according to thy wisdom, and let not his hoar head go down to the kabar in Shalom.
See that? A hoar head is a white head. They'll call it gray hair. Only you call it gray hair because the black is still trying to glisten through while it looks gray. And you'll see some people hair get completely white because all of the black is gone. What they call gray hair is actually the white, but the black is still trying to shine through it, and that's how you got it looking gray. But eventually all of the gray will wash out and it'll just be white, like lamb's wool. Okay? So he wanted to bring his gray head in Shalom to the grave. Don't let him go in there in peace. All right, listen.
But shew kindness unto the Beni of Barzillai, the Gileadite, and let them be of those that eat at thy table. For so they came to me when I fled because of Absalom thy ox.
Okay.
And behold, thou hast with thee Shimei, the ben of Gerah, a Benjamin of Bahurim, which all me with a grievous all in the Yum when I went.
Let me ask y'all a question. I'm sorry, when he was going, did we know that they grieved him when it happened? He kept what they call a stiff upper lip. People don't realize that. It don't mean you like it because people do it. He said what he told you. He said the man grieved him. He said that thing was grievous when that man put that thing. I mean, he said it. That thing really bothered me when he went. When he told me that, but he never showed it to us, did he? He just kept going. He said when they asked to kill him and call him a dead dog, he said, I don't have nothing to do with you. Yahuwah had told him to curse me. He said, if I can endure this affliction, he let him know it was affliction. I was grieved by it. But if I can endure being grieved by it, Yahuwah might come back and requite me too for it. So people thinking, oh, when you go through, you ain't supposed to be, he ain't supposed to hurt you. You supposed to be glad. I don't know where you get that stuff. That man said, he said that thing was grieved. That thing bothered me. That thing really, so don't think things not going to bother you, human.
Yeah.
Get out of your mind. See, when you get saved, it don't matter. Somebody hit you in the head with a hammer, you be laughing because you're a damn retard. Somebody hit me in my head with no hammer, I'm be laughing. That's crazy. You human. He wants you to know that thing, he said, grieved me. Come on.
With a grievous in the Yum when I went to Mahanaim, but he came down to meet me at Yarden, and I swear that to him by Yahuwah, saying, I will not put thee to moot with the sword.
Y'all see that? He said, I shot at that to him. Listen.
Now therefore, hold him not guiltless, for thou art a wise ish.
Y'all hear that? He said, don't you let him be guiltless now. He said, you very wise. What do you want me to do?
And knowest what thou oughtest to do unto him. But his hoar head bring thou down to the kabar with dawn.
Let's see something right quick, and I'll try that y'all. 5 and 20. You can on. Let's see what he told you. I know it took a little time, but you had to get understanding, Dean. Listen.
For the Abba, Ahab the Ben,
Y'all
and
see what
sheweth
he do?
him all things that
So why you
himself
think he told Shalumah about all that stuff? That he went over and explained everything to him. Yoab, how Yoab had went and who he had killed and who he had slain. And said, and actually we was in the time of peace. And he made war. And he had the dome upon his regal on his feet. Told you about the other one, said, they showed kindness to me. And they brought me in at a time. Let them sit at your table. Isn't that right? All these people told God, but he remembered Shema. He remembered what he did. He said, man, Kerry, that thing was so grieved, that thing really bothered me. But I showed Shavah to him that I wouldn't kill him with the sword by Yahuwah. He said, but you wise. You very wise. And you know what you ought to do. What do you want? Look what he told her. For the Abba.
Ahab the Ben,
And do what?
sheweth him all things that himself doeth, and he will shew him greater works than these, that ye may marvel. For as the Abba cum the moot, and quickeneth them, even so the Ben quickeneth whom he will.
Listen.
For the Abba shafet no ish.
You see why Daud didn't have nothing to do with it? Was Shalumah the father or was Daud the Abba?
Daud.
And look what he just told you.
The Abba shafet no ish,
What happened?
but hath committed all mashpah unto the Ben.
Y'all say y'all want to understand it, didn't you? I said, all right, we had to do it. Makes sense now? So you understand how he did it. You saw a situation why he told you. He said, you don't think I know that I'm the Malak? He said, you the Malak. We kill him now. He said, I know who I am. He said, nobody died today. I'm saving this for the Ben. I'm gonna commit all this into the hands of the Ben. I'm not even gonna judge. I'm not gonna mashpah. I'm gonna let him do it. What's the purpose of why? Listen why.
That all unashamed should honor the Ben, even as they honor the Abba.
Same thing happened with Yosef. That's why Pharaoh didn't judge it. He let him call it. They went and want to know something, go to him. That way everybody will honor him just like you do the Abba. How's it gonna honor you if you don't get to, unless you get to have the punishment, you get to issue out, or you get to decree, or you get to say. They can go around you and they can ask them, nobody gonna honor you. They can say, I ain't gonna waste time, so I'm gonna go to him. So, no, you gotta go right back to him. So everybody will honor the Ben just like they honor the Abba. Make sense? That's two.